Don't forget to log on to doggiediamondstv.com. That is the official website, doggiediamondstv.com. I know a lot of times you look and you wonder if I uploaded content or if I did content. It is all on doggiediamondstv.com, so you have to log on to that site. You might as well bookmark it. Look, man, and have you heard about my $100 promo deal? I know many of you have. Many of you have taken advantage of it. But if you didn't, let me give you some details really quick. The promotion will be done on Doggie Diamonds TV as well as the Interlude TV. That's the Insta Stories, the YouTube community, the threads, the Facebook accounts. That's where your promo is going to be done at. But as a reminder, this is for serious inquiries only. Must be Cash App ready. I can help you bring more awareness to your products. Just contact me at Doggie Diamonds on Instagram. Also, listen, if you are a podcaster, an artist, a business owner, or content creator, you should hit up at Coach Kandaka for social media growth, brand clarity, organic supporter building, rollout strategy, product management, and monetization strategy. This is tailor-made for each individual. Just hit up at Coach Kandaka for your consultation. She's taking clients now. Let's go. Don't forget. No, it's about to say it anyway.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
Yes. I'm here. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Nate Jackson is here. Sticky Fingers, what's up? Malik Smith, Rashawn Green, what's up? Young Yala is in the building. SMD 97 show is in the building. Neltron 8000 is here. Grumpy Bundy 716 is in the building. Check Vids Online is here. Yes. Don't forget.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
Yes. Zone 864. 28 is in the building. Sucker Free is here. Derek Douglas is here too. E. Blandon, what's going on? Mr. X-Lax, that means he is on y'all. Yes. Don't forget.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
Yeah. And for a lot of people who'll be hearing the intros and be like, yo, let me get that beat, I can rap on it. Absolutely not. Ain't rapping on nothing I do unless you pay for it. And my stuff ain't for sale. I don't want nobody to rap over my beats. Yet. Elmatic, what's up? Malik Smith, what's up? Trevor Diesel, what's up? Bill Blast is in the building. Art of Thinking Out Loud Live, Common Sense Analytics. Cincinnati is in the building. T. Stewart, what's up? D. Source, what's up? Make sure you hit them likes. Boston is in the building. Chris Neely, what's up? Gotta get them likes up though. Them likes gotta like. You know what I mean? Them likes gotta get up there.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
Yes. You know what I mean? Gotta get them lights up. Couple of hundred people in the room so far. The likes ain't liking, but you gotta hit the like. The like is important. You know what I'm saying? Randu, what's up? I see you. Rizzo 27 is in the building. Chef Vic 3031 is in the building. I'm here as usual, back like I never left. Coming back with real topics. Rashawn, what's up? Brooklyn is in the building. Jake Mack, what's up? Coming back with real topics, talking about real shit. You know what I'm saying? D Banks, what's up? I'm here. I know I took a little break, but I'm back, just trying to get my acoustics right. I got my lighting right. Try to get my acoustics right a little bit, but so y'all got to bear with me. I got to drop a carpet down so it won't be so roomy, but I be hearing other people's shit sound trash, so I know I don't sound that bad. I just don't sound the way I want to up to my liking, but I'll figure it out. Just bear with me. So without any further ado, I bring on my guests. Introduce yourself to the people.
Peace, it's your brother Tad on the check-in, one half of the OG Wisdom Podcast. Peace, what's the word, Doggie?
Ain't shit. Was I supposed to curse that early? I don't know. I think I wasn't supposed to curse that early. But we talk every day, but we was talking earlier today. We was just talking about a bunch of topics, and we got into the the little old dudes, the old YNs, and we was just
Right,
going
right,
through
right.
like, because I think you said to me today, like, yo, when is gonna grow up? And I was
Right.
like, yo, I really don't know. And then I said, you know, I think that would be a good topic for us to talk about because we do got a lot of old YNs that's in the streets, that's so-called conscious, that's in the workplace. A lot of times people feel like they still have to parade around like a little dude, but they be in their 50s. You said 60 earlier. And
Yeah.
just something about being a little dude, but your age is not that of a little dude. Early on, so let's talk about the street guys, the so-called street dudes, the we out here dudes. You know, first thing, dude, we out here, the dudes that like to celebrate the fact that they could go back to their hood. What do you attribute that to?
Arrested development. Like they got stunted in their growth. And it started really when we was talking about rap dudes and rap beef, you know, like what's going on in this state of affairs right now with a lot of rappers beefing with each other, dudes not respecting the architects that came before them, you know, just a lack of growth for dudes who's Generation X, dudes who's 50 and 60 years old, which means you should have been active in the 80s and the 90s. And by the 2000s, you should have already done wind it down, tapered it down. But here it is, a quarter of a century into the new millennium, and dudes is trying to relive their childhood. And I attribute that to dudes just not accomplishing a lot of goals. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about within themselves to make them want to elevate their game, you know?
So in here we are in this time right now. We got dudes that's outside playing music in their car. And you said something to me earlier. It's like, yo, every time dudes get together, they got drinks in their hand. They got to smoke. Like dudes don't even get together. Yo, let's remember we used to get together and play chess. Remember we
Right.
used to be deep.
Chess, books.
Yeah, let's play chess. You know what I'm saying? Let's play chess. Let's do stuff. And we used to sit around a lot of times and build off of what was going on in society and what was going on in our
Right.
direct environment and what we wanted from our future. Many things that's manifested today, we was talking about over 30, 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I am tripping because how do you get out the hood and then take pride in going back to the hood to do nothing in the hood, you know? But a lot of dudes ain't even adding on to their community. It's like, yo, somebody bring a radio out, then niggas is rapping, shooting the shit, and I don't get it. We got a lot of friends that we grew up with, that stuck. They stuck. How do we help them, or can we?
Some we can, some we can't, because those that we can help, they're gonna be receptive to what we're up to. You know, dudes be like, yo, I see what you and Doggy doing. That's what's up. That's what's up. Because people remember you as the music man. And then you pivoted. You know what I'm saying? Now you the media man. But I'm like, at this stage in the game, dudes should be working on something. Your kids, chances are your kids are grown, probably got grandchildren. I'm talking about the Gen X dudes, dudes in our age range. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff you should already have done. And if you haven't accomplished that, you can do it right now. You know what I mean? There's still value in the day if you just apply yourself. I say that because, right, we was looking at rappers beefing with their OGs, not respecting dudes who really put them on, but everybody claiming to hold on to this old school code of the 80s and 90s that don't serve nobody in the 2000s, 2025. But dudes still want to relive that. And it just bugs me out that dudes are 40 plus, 50 plus, some of them as old as 60 years old, still outside like a teenager. Now I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, don't enjoy your life. That ain't what I'm saying.
Because you went to block parties this summer, but it was an event. It was a block party.
Right,
You know,
right.
Clinton Hill Day. You know, it was stuff that
The hell
actually,
day.
yeah.
Nostrand to Jefferson was crazy. I seen that was all on social media. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's things to do outside. I'm not saying don't go outside and enjoy your life with your family and your friends on the weekend or even the weekday, but you gotta have a stable income. Part one. Part two, have stability within your family and the relationships you're involved in. Dudes really out here crashing out, and I just think it's crazy, man. I think it's crazy.
So we at a time where no matter place the event, I appreciate you for the donation. The Cash App is available as well, y'all. I see we at a time where there's no respecting of the architect. No matter what you do for anybody, they don't give a fuck. And you tell me every day, no good deed goes unpunished.
That's
No,
a fact.
no matter what you do for anybody, they do not care. It don't even matter to them. And y'all gotta hear that. No good deed goes
Goes unpunished.
unpunished.
You know,
Go ahead.
when I was young, I didn't understand that phrase. No good deed goes unpunished. But I'm saying to myself, because as a kid, you're taught to be good and do good. So I'm saying, like, wow, why would you get punished for doing something good? Why would you? But as time goes on, and you think you helping brothers out, I mean, you've done it. You know what I'm saying? You extended your platform to dudes who wasn't appreciative.
My
I mean, we
crib.
we could go down platform, your crib, your studio. Like I've watched you try to help dudes win, and dudes just kick your back in soon as they get on. So it's like, damn, you help people out of the goodness of your heart because that's who you are as a person. But damn, you help them, and everybody you try to help turn around and kick you in the back like you didn't do nothing for them. Dudes be down to their dying breath. You breathe life back into them. Now they up and running. They like, man, fuck you. Fuck you. I did this on my own. You like, word? Case in point. Like, and this, like, when I look at Cam and Un or Cam and Dame, you know what I'm saying? I find it weird that these is two dudes who really put them on. Like, Dame put him on to game, unsigned him, put his albums out. And he kicked Un back, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
And reason
Cause
why we saying that, because Un is from the hood. Un was always considered to be our OG, not our street OG, but he was just our OG because he was one of the elders from the hood that was out off the porch when we wasn't even coming
right,
outside. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, we
He
wasn't
was
even
already
outside.
outside, and we watched the success of the neighborhood that he was a part of. And we was wilding like, yo, Cam is wilding on Un. And we was tripping because we was like, yo, if it wasn't for the hood, there'd be no Dipset. And a lot of
Yeah,
people don't realize that. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. And if it wasn't for Brooklyn niggas, there would be no Dipset. And that's just a fact because Big wanted to sign Cam. Mace took Cam to Biggie. Biggie didn't live long enough to see it through, but unfollowed it through and then put him on. And then putting him on, he was able to help Jim have his crew. And then Dame took what was there and took it further. But now we see a time where, and not saying Cam got to kiss ass or whatever the case may be,
right.
but you have to be fair. And I believe if somebody breathed life into you when you didn't have a breath, why use the breath that you now obtain to talk bad about the person who breathed life into you? Like, because sometimes it's like, remember with Mel, my older brother, rest in peace. Sometimes he would pop shit. We'd be like, yo, whatever, man.
Not
Because,
sometimes,
yeah, all the time. He always pop shit. But being
but
that
we
he
love
was,
him.
yeah,
God
being that
bless.
he was the oldest, yo, man, I ain't arguing with you. You understand what I'm saying? Or something. Because remember, he would call you sometimes and be like, yo, Tad, you got it fucked
Got it
up.
fucked up.
And you be like,
Like
yo, what you
he
talking
just
about? You don't even know what
don't
he
even know what
talking
he's talking
about.
about. He just opened up the
Yo,
conversation.
he called him on the phone. Yo, what's up, Mel? Nah, Tad, you be getting it fucked up. And it's like,
Like, what are you
what are
talking
you
about?
talking about? And he might have been jibber jabbering, but it's like,
Right,
whatever.
exactly.
But out of respect for what he represented for the family,
Right.
what he did for the family, and how he stood for the family, you ain't argue with him. And now I see time
Because he
that,
wasn't active like us outside either.
right.
He
And
was one of the same ones.
but now I see the time whereas this little dude, because even Rankin, we was talking about that earlier, snapping, you know what I'm saying? Always trying to be funny and trolling. That's some little nigga shit at the end of the day because These dudes trolling each other on the internet is why dudes be crashing out. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's why dudes be crashing out because, oh, you was under my post, this, that, and the third. You said this, this, that, and the third. But when you see it coming from older dudes who so-called got to the money, got to the bag, got to the success, and then they act like little dudes, the Cams, the 50s, in my opinion, the dudes who always fucking with somebody. I think it sends the wrong message because people start thinking that's how they got to get on, or this is how they got to maintain, or it don't matter, because they doing it and they get into the money. I wanted to ask you because you told me, you tell me when you go through the hood, you move smooth. Like me, years ago, I could walk down Fulton Street, but we so popular in the neighborhood. I ain't want to talk to 60 dudes today. So I would take Gates sometimes. Sometimes I walk up to Atlantic without saying how you move in the hood and the blocks you take. Why do you, at this stage of the game, you don't even really want to walk through the hood no more? Not because you're scared, not because you have beef. Why is it that you move smooth through the hood the way you do now?
I don't want to do idle chat. And it's not that I'm better than nobody. It's when I'm moving with a purpose. I got a destination. Only time I'm moving, I can't even say that. I was gonna say moving without a purpose, but I do when I take my hood walks. You know what I'm saying? When I just walk through the hood, get some miles in, just take a nice brisk walk. You know what I mean? But other than that, when I see dudes, I don't want to get jammed up with idle chatter. And what I want to talk about, dudes ain't into. You know what I'm saying? Because if they was, they'd be tapped in. And and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people I like to see. I like to see dudes in the hood. I like to see dudes doing they 1-2s. But then there's that element of nothingness that goes on with dudes. Nothingness, no motion, no movement. And it's people out here with movement. That's why you don't see them. But then there's the ones who's just stuck. And it's like, come on, man, I don't want to be stuck. This the same shit from 1995. 30 years later, everybody's still, you know what I mean?
What
So
what is it that you see also that bringing about thinking about what is it about these dudes that never experienced certain things and they just won't shut the up? Like they know everything about everything. Like, cause you see it in the hood. You seen who we know got a $64 million deal. You had dudes telling him about the industry. And it's that bad in the hood. And it's older dudes, it's younger dudes. And then what make it so bad with the older and the younger dudes is that the older dudes supposed to know better. But they act just like the little dudes. You know what I'm saying? But what is it about the hood now where everybody's an expert at everything?
yo, I ain't gonna front. And I hate to sound like an old dude, but it's social media. Social media got everybody thinking they know everything about everything. Dudes will watch a 5 minute, 10-minute YouTube clip and they think they got the science of everything. Whether it comes to history, black history, finances, um, the music business, everybody think they know so much. I was having a conversation with one day at my cousin Nelly's funeral because I was watching, just being in the hood. Like nobody treat him like a celebrity in the hood. Let me tell you that. He's respected, but I mean, because he's part of the family in the hood. Like the hood is one big family. And dudes are arguing. Ain't nobody scared of him to talk to him. But sometimes I see dudes don't respect what he's done for the hood too. How he has put on for the hood. People be like, yo, you ain't do nothing for the hood. I mean, Junior Mafia was his concern. Making sure Big was good was his concern. That was helping the hood. He helped them. They in turn help everybody else who rocking. But I told him, I said, yo, it's funny how I watch dudes argue with you about money. And I've only known you for getting money since I was a little dude. Him and his brother Just, shout out to Big Just. So when I see people argue with a man who secured a bag, a man who literally signed Cam to put him in position to put the dips on, and I mean that's definitely a powerful movement, you know, not to take nothing away from Cam and them, you know what I'm saying, because that's their efforts and energy. But what Un has done in the game trying to help everybody, trying to navigate through some shit he didn't have no knowledge of. You know
And
what I'm
right,
saying?
he was gonna make some mistakes because we knew Un as being
A
a
street
hustler, a
dude.
street dude hustling in the hood who
Yeah.
partnering with Biggie was learning on the job. So I think sometimes even in the room,
And he did some fly shit.
right, and I think sometimes even when the room of growth, we still be holding on to what somebody did to you 35 years ago, but they didn't know no better. But the person who shot you, the person who did this, you forgive them. But the person that believed in you, you still got smoke for him. Somebody in the chat asked something. Mr. X like asked, does the type of media they consume make any difference? Hip hop has some kind of influence with the affirmations we recite in the videos we watch. Absolutely, because that's kind of what we're talking about when you have successful hip hoppers who are now moving into this media space, right? But they're not moving into the media space. How many of them are moving into the media space to educate you on the actual business? They're here to tell you nigga stories.
Oh, yeah.
You understand
Yes.
what I'm saying? They're here to tell you nigga stories. You done heard so many, Alino, I appreciate you. You done heard a lot of these stories already. You done heard all the street stories you need to hear. You done heard, and these are people who don't live in the street. They don't even have sidewalks. They live in gated communities. But it's something about the mentality of older men that want to make you believe they're still impoverished as you. I don't know what that's about. They still want to be like, yeah, I can still come back to the hood. But come back to the hood to do what? If you're not coming back to the hood to give out some turkeys, to do a toy drive, to set up some type of community thing for the children, you coming back to be dysfunctional when you made it out of the hood in the dysfunction. It don't make no sense to me. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense to me. And then what we're watching, look what we're watching. So for example, we could do a show like this. We could do a show like this every night. This is not the type of food, brain food, that everybody wants to consume, right? Because it doesn't feed to the ego of them two niggas is pussy, right? Or, yo, watch when my podcast come on, I'm gonna outdo them. Or I need to tell my war story. Because when you speaking life into people, niggas is ready to die. Who want to live? Niggas don't eat right. Niggas don't drink right. Niggas don't live right. Niggas don't think right. You trying to give people life? Are you stupid? Are you really trying to? Because you notice we don't do it from the perspective of being better than anybody. We do it from the perspective of, yo, we been through it, and we trying to add years on this shit, and we trying to help what we hurt. We was a part of being out there, being knuckleheads. But now it's about doing age-appropriate shit. You get what I'm saying? So I be amazed at how dudes have all this money, these platforms where they just go in and sit down and cameras are set up. I gotta set up my own camera. You had to set up your own camera. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the big production. We don't have all of that. But look what they're talking about. They're not giving you one to grow on. Your children can't watch them. You understand what I'm saying? The little dudes can't watch them because you're going to have people like Fat Joe who's just straight up, he wrecked at this point, you know what I'm saying, who going to sit there and cap to where now it became a joke to laugh at a liar. We were told as little kids, yo, stop lying or stop fibbing because we couldn't say liar. Liar was a bad word. Now it became marketing for a nigga to lie. So if a dude wants to brag about having the jewelry, to change, the cars, and all of this material things from being a liar, why shouldn't everybody lie? Everybody should just lie. You could be a troll, lie, tell war stories, how you robbed the gym at 70 people at 7 years old, and you know, stuff like that. Why not everybody do that? You understand what I'm saying? So this because they wouldn't deem me as successful because I don't show the materialism. I got it, but so what? You know what I'm saying? Also, what I do have is my mental health and my physical health and my spiritual health. Nobody want to hear that. Nobody care about that because the crash is more important than anything. You know what I'm saying? So we be seeing each other, we be sending each other videos like, yo, come on. Like he told a fabulous one, as Mel would say, you know what I'm saying? But it
Yeah,
became
yeah,
cool.
fabulous lie.
It been
We used to call
cool.
it a fabulous one.
Yeah, it started becoming cool for dudes to lie now and embellish shit. And hip hop has always had a little embellishment in it. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like you ain't even in the booth.
Word.
You sitting there with a straight face saying that you did shit, and everything that you said you did is always dysfunction.
Yeah.
So that's the street dudes. I want to go back to them, but I want to also ask you, what about the niggas who so-called know better? And that's the dudes who got knowledge of self, whether they Nation of Gods of Earth, Nation of Islam, Moors, Hebrews, Black Americans, African-centered, Pan-Africanists. What about the dudes who know better that still on some little nigga shit? Because in my opinion, this is just my opinion, when we get new information, people don't want to accept new information, right? You still thinking like a little dude.
Right.
We learned certain things in the 90s that has been debunked and dispelled. So as we get more information, we say, oh, no, that ain't like that no more. Some of them still stuck and they crashing out on the computers. They on Facebook crashing out. They going crazy, right? So what about the dudes who so-called know better and don't have the behavior that they don't display the behavior of an elder? Because remember what I told
Say
King,
they represent,
yeah,
right?
what I told King Simon the other day, yo, we the elders now. You told me that 10 years ago, yo, we the elders now. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? What do you think about the dudes who know better, supposedly know better? The
They
old,
don't. I realize dudes they know rhetoric. I think back to the 90s, right? For all my Gen X's, everybody in the audience. Remember, everybody's like, yo, the New World Order's coming. The Illuminati is coming. We here now.
right,
Did dudes prepare? Did dudes make that shift? Did dudes really prepare themselves mentally? So what they doing is regurgitating lessons, and not talking about the guard body lessons. I'm talking about things they've learned from people in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Information from the 70s and 80s. It kills me, right, though? And I say this as a quote unquote elder. When people talk about what somebody who passed away said, well, what would Malcolm say? What would Dr. Clark say? And peace be upon both of them master teachers. But I always tell people they didn't live my life. I got to go through my life experience, right? Because, see, Malcolm was from the street, but Malcolm didn't have to deal with gang activity like we dealt with. Dr. Clark wasn't running from bullets like we had to, you know what I'm saying? Going to school, getting shot at. My life was totally different from a lot of these master teachers that you can quote and cite, the ones that went to college and all these. When they was going to college, we was going to jail. We was
facts,
learning real hard lessons. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many of their friends was growing up with their parents on crack selling their stuff. You know what I'm saying?
right,
I don't know how many of them grew up with their friends selling their mothers and their fathers crack. You know what I'm saying? So it was a different relationship and dynamic for my generation growing up in the streets, still dealing with the same societal ills, but more intensified. Because Malcolm was gone by the time they dumped crack in our community. Dr. Clark was an old man by the time they dumped crack in our community. And Malcolm was gone before gangster rap came out. So when people talk about what people of the past would have done, now it's what you do right now. So when dudes act like they know so much, right, dog? To your question about dudes who's supposed to know better, all that is regurgitated information because they're not applying it. A lot of that is useless information.
right,
Why do I need to know how much the earth weighs? Am I gonna move it? Why do I need to know how far the sun is? Am I gonna go there? You know what I'm saying? And this ain't the knock on no lessons, but we really got to start critiquing the shit that we know and say, all right, now how does this help me in my daily situation?
right. How we
You know
gonna
what I
keep these
always
lights
say?
on? Yeah,
You know what I always say? If what you know don't solve your problems, you don't know shit.
Right.
So
Right.
why you want to tell me what happened in ancient Kemet? I've done all that. I've done the teachers, I've done the studies of the ancient dynasty, King Tutankhamun and Queen Tah, and all that.
Right.
And it's a beautiful history. It's nice to know, but how do I apply that to today?
Right.
People say, but if you don't know where you come from, you never know where you're
Yeah,
going.
yeah. I was about to say, you know that was
Born in
coming. Yeah.
Brooklyn George Hospital, man.
Right.
I'm from Brooklyn. That's what I know. And I know I got children and I know they got to eat. That's what I know. And I know I got to feed them in the way that protects me as well as them and make sure they develop into responsible people and don't be like the dudes on the corner. I always told my children, you know what I'm saying? Something my mother shared with me, right, dog? Said every bum and crackhead you see at one point was somebody's baby.
Damn.
At some point, every crackhead you see, every dope fiend was at one point somebody's baby. So now we got to find out, where did things go left? Where did this person pivot from the right track where a lot of people put their children on to engaging in smoking crack and shooting dope and all the things that hurt and harm the community? Even when we look at the little dudes, I seen the video the other day where this lady had to call the cops on her son, but she recorded it because Shorty was just spazzing on his mom. She's like 15, 16, snatching her up, duffing her out. I'm like, little dudes are wild. But we know this was intentionally done to remove the fathers out the community. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I remember in the year 2000, 2001, when they started doing gang sweeps in New York, when they started locking 20 and 30
Was it
dudes up at,
Marcy first? I think it was Marcy, right? They had locked
I
up like
remember,
50 dudes in Marcy. Yeah, it was
I know it
Marcy.
was all
Then they hit
over
the fort. Yeah, they was hitting Brooklyn hard.
Brook and Harlem. They hit New York. They hit Brooklyn, Harlem. Cause I was locked up with dudes in Harlem. I'm like, what you doing in Brooklyn house? They's like, yo, it was 40 of us, so they can't have us all in one jail because they scared we gonna take over.
Right.
But I remember. But you know what I said to myself, dog? I said, yo, they getting all the men out of the houses again.
Right. Right.
Remove all the men out the community. So who gonna raise these little dudes? So what year I said? 2000, 2001? That mean the babies back then are now 24, 25. Who's the YNs now? The little 20-something year olds.
And the dudes who was buried alive, who's coming home from 25 years, they don't know what the hell is going on in the street.
Right.
So now they coming home, this dude out here putting it on, and then they just falling in line. You get what I'm saying? You know what's deep about that, because we have children in our family, and most of the children come directly from you, but the one that was raised in the house with us, who was born in the house with us, is little buddy, aka little Tad. It was times in his life where he could have went left, and I want Tad to tell y'all the story of when he was playing hooky that time, and tell him what you did. What, he didn't go to school for like 30 something days, right?
Like 20 days.
20 days.
I said, that's a whole month. I
And
said,
tell the audience what you did to mitigate and to remedy that.
nah, first he was like some kid was messing with him at school, so that's why he was, because the school called like, yo, he missed a lot of days. Like, what? How many days? They said like 20. I'm like, hold up. It's 5 days in a week. 20 is 4 weeks. 4 weeks is a month. So of course, I gave him the 1-2. Definitely got disciplined. But then after that, I called Dog and I called my cousin Poe. Like, yo, y'all talk to him. Because we all raised him. Granted, I'm the biological father. That's my son. But he's part of the village.
Right.
Because that's their son too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they kept him alive when I was working.
Yep.
I used to be a workaholic. So, and I trusted them. His mother trusts them because we got the same family values. And that's why it's important to have a village. So not only did I get at him, but then Dog got at him and Poe got at him. And we like 3 strong men in his lives, direct influence. Dog used to have him in Pampers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he understood the severity. And I was like, you don't be scared of nobody. If you got to get beat up. But of course, he had to go back to school and he plugged dude out.
Right. Because I remember saying, I remember you called me, you was like, yo, come talk to him before I kill him. And I was like, yo, what happened? He ain't been to school in 20 days. What? I be right there. I come to the crib, here come Poe. Poe taller than both of us. So so he's seen 3 strong men, that's his father and his 2 older cousins, in his face like drill sergeants. And it's like, yo, why you ain't go to school? Why you ain't been going to school?
Because that's not acceptable.
Right. It's not because that, you know why it's not acceptable? Because that's what we did. And you ain't gonna be like us.
And
You
we
ain't,
didn't, yo,
yeah, you not gonna be like us.
say that again.
You not gonna be like us. You don't, because I remember I'm gonna get back to the story, but I remember one time he was walking with me down Fulton Street and he was like, damn, you and my father know everybody outside. And I was like, yo, because we was outside, so you don't have to be outside. We already did all this already. So, and then what he didn't know, his grandfather, which was your father, was outside. His great uncle, which would be your uncle, which was my father, was outside. It just so happened that drugs, you know, they succumb to that. Their addiction. We didn't fall to addiction. We just fell to violence and fucking and bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And then we snapped out of it. So by the time that because how old is he now?
31.
He 31. By the time he was because he ended up graduating high school. I want to let y'all know that. I remember I still got his prom pictures.
The only one in
the only one. Yeah, he graduated high school. The only male. The Poe graduated.
College for a little while.
Poe graduated from high school too.
Yeah.
Poe, yeah. But I'm just saying he grew up in the crib. Like he was born in the crib with us. That makes a difference being directly around us. Because remember some nights y'all would wake up looking for him crying. I had him in the room with me. Y'all ain't get up. He was in the crib crying. You know what I'm saying? I would pick him up and give him his bottle and all that. But I'm saying all this to say that, you know, it was a particular time where I cared how I was depicted, and I still do in front of the children. I cared. So that's why I don't be doing certain shit, because they watch. And what they see is positive activity. You know what I'm saying? So that's his father, yes. But yo, we all his father.
But you know what?
Go ahead.
And that's why I always stress the importance of a village.
Right.
You know what I mean? But everybody's so individualized right now. Everybody's on some me, ego, ego, ego. And let's go back to the question, like those who's supposed to know better, why they don't do better? Because they only use the knowledge to say, I know something you don't know, to one up you, to make themselves feel bigger and make you look smaller. And that's because they feel tiny on the inside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when somebody don't got the light and they just take their time across the street. They exercising what they believe to be power by fucking up traffic.
Right, right. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they lollygagging across. So you're like, yo, nigga, move.
You know you don't got the light. Get your ass out the street.
Word.
But you to hold me up makes you feel like you doing something.
Because they look at you too.
Small-minded that is. Yeah,
they look at you lollygagging. Yep.
But that's to show you how small-minded people are. Just if I can inconvenience you, if I can annoy you, that's a level of power I have in your life, because they don't have power within themselves. You think powerful people try to empower people.
Right.
They be like, yo, you should do this, that, and the third. This will help you with what you're trying to do. That's what powerful people do. Powerless people, they try to block you, or they got an excuse for everything on why they can't move the needle forward. I'm talking about, I've seen dudes not be in their children's life, buy into the narrative that black men ain't in life, because it's a story we just shared with you. My son had multiple men in his life. That's why he in his son's lives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My father never left me, his grandfather. I'll give you about 10 generations of men in my family.
Right.
And not even to talk about my sons and their sons. You know what I'm saying? So we debunked that myth. But then there's some dudes out here who use that as an excuse not to be involved in their children's life. And we don't respect that. Tell dude, yo, you got rights. You can go to court, give visitation, fight for custody. Nah, they not gonna let me. But dudes never step foot in the court and talking about what the judge is and ain't gonna do when you don't even try.
Right.
So how can men respect you as a man if the very thing you're supposed to love, that thing you created, the one thing that you could have done that turns out great, if your life ain't shit, you got a chance to do it over with your child.
Yep.
Make sure your child stay on the straight and narrow and become something successful. And you could take part in that. You know what I'm saying? You could brag on that if you're involved in the life. But don't not be in your child's life. Oh, my kid's mother won't let me see my son. Well, go to court. Man, they not going to do nothing. But you got to try. At least put forth the effort. Dudes don't even put forth the effort. I remember one of my dudes came home from jail, right, dog? I ain't going to tell you who it is. I'll tell you offline. But he came home, did like a dime, Son looked just like him. So I was like, yo, what's up with your son? Yo, my baby mom's boyfriend won't let me see him. I said, what? He said, nah, you know, because dude been taking care. I said, yo, I don't give a fuck. Dude have to kill me to keep me away from my son? But these are excuses dudes use and then want to blame other people. And we see it everywhere. We got it in our family, we got it in our neighborhoods. It's some of our homies that we try to pull up by the bootstrap. And it ain't to say that we better than anybody else. But the thing is, I can only judge you on what you produce. And if you're not producing nothing, I can't see you as a producer. Case in point, Dr. Umar. I knew he was a lame years ago.
Right.
You never seen his children. Never seen, didn't even talk about family. You want access to everybody's children, but nobody see yours. You want
Yes.
to talk about family values, but you don't demonstrate it, and you want to lead something. Nah, that's suspicious.
But
Don't you
yo,
find that suspicious?
also you've been in situations whereas you have children with women and y'all went on to move on to y'all respective, different partners, and you've had the women who you've dealt with, their significant other at the time try to tell you things about your kids and all that. How did that go?
Oh, nah. Yeah. My baby mom's husband.
How did that go? Let the audience know.
It went good because he didn't get popped, but he
Right.
almost did. He almost did. Look, I'm gonna share a secret, y'all. Y'all don't tell nobody. So one day, yo, I'm gonna tell y'all, it was crazy because she was just messing with me. She was just bothering me. First, she asked me why our daughter's bike was in storage. I'm like, yo, it's October. All of our bikes are in storage. I put all. Then she sent my son to the crib with a thin jacket on. Then she's like, why he ain't got his coat? I said, yo, for real, stop playing with me. I barked on her. She was crying. I hung up the phone. Her husband calls me. He's like, yo, what happened? So what the fuck you mean what happened? Yo, I'm saying, what happened with y'all? She crying. I want to know what's going on. I said, my man, something about me she not telling you. Because if she told you, you wouldn't even pick up this motherfucking phone.
Right.
This dude gonna say, yo, I ain't called for all that. That make you a big man, right? I said, no, what makes me a big man is the fact I take care of my kids. I said, yo, for real, dude? And I had tried to meet him on some one-on-one shit. He didn't want to get up, you know what I'm saying? But I know she had put the bug in his head. And they not even together no more.
Right.
Told him something about your wife that you don't know. I know
Right.
your wife better than you. And I'm telling you right now, long story short, I just grabbed the blick and went to my mama crib.
Right.
Like, mama, please don't let me leave this house.
Word.
Like, what's going on? I said, if I go outside, I'm going back to jail.
Word.
They would sit down and talk to me. God bless my mama. Because, you know, mothers could talk to their children only way a mother can. Women who got children, they know. You know your child better than anybody. Better than
Right.
your spouse, better than their father. Mothers know their children. And my mother always knew what to say to talk me off the ledge because she saw I was trying. Because I felt like Vin Rames and Baby Boy. Remember when Jody kept fucking with him?
Yeah.
Jody out. He was like, yo, these little niggas want me to go back to jail. That's how.
And reason why I told you to tell the story because, it is times where I remember one time I called you, I was in the mall. I said, yo, I'm about to stab the shit out this nigga. You was like, yo, where you at? It was like, yo, I'm in Atlanta. I said, I'm about to, you was like, yo, go home. I'm like,
Word.
nah, I gotta stab this nigga first, and then I'm gonna go home. You like, yo, nah, just go home. I'm like, damn, you lucky. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, yo, I call because that's what many of y'all don't know. We call each other to inform each other. We got people who know
And
the
to talk
record,
each other off the
to talk
ledge,
each other off the ledge. But if it go too far, we got people who know, call him, like in any situation, right? But a lot of times we be accountability partners. You understand what I'm saying? See, a lot of stuff that people see me do, and y'all think I crash out and all that, I done ran that by all my people already. They already know what was going on. So if y'all think I get on the internet and just say shit or do whatever, the people who love me already know. You know what I'm saying? I see a question in the chat. Well, it's not really a question, it's a statement. I don't agree with it, but I want to run it by you, Taz. Somebody said maybe if grown men stop calling themselves the N-words, that may be a baby step to them growing up. What do you think about that?
I was gonna put a comedic joke. Yo, I'm gonna be real with you. I thought that at one point too. But niggas is gonna nigga.
Word.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. And I think that's the problem we have because we think changing the language is gonna change our situation, and it's more so change the mindset. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've tried it before. And I mean, we could go back in history. I don't know if the dudes who deleted Malcolm used that word or not, but they're supposed to be somewhat righteous, right? You would think. I don't think the language is really the problem more than it is the mindset.
Right.
We can try that, you know. I think it's just a time and a place for that. And and be honest with you, there was a point in time where I did delete the word, but that was the only word that fit a lot of dudes.
Right.
That was
Right.
the only word that fit. Can't be like, that's a lost black man. That brother crazy. That nigga stupid.
What do we say? I love black people, but I don't like niggas.
Yeah.
and
And I'm be honest with you, like I really tried. I really tried. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good statement. You know what I'm saying? Ain't trying to beat it up. And that's what we sharing. You know what I'm saying? Different schools of thoughts, different ideologies, different frame of references. Because I've tried that years ago, and that don't stop dudes from behaving that way. Even when you get into it and you be like, brother, brother, brother. You know how many fights I had with dudes, and I'll be like, brother, brother, hold up, brother. And when you talk like that, they
get
think you
passive,
tough.
they get aggressive.
But when
Yep.
you say, yo, nigga, who the fuck you think you put? Oh shit,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's speaking that
Aggression
language.
get met with aggression with us. That's just real. Like
Yo, remember that time me and you was on the phone and I was downtown and I got into it with a dude. You was like, yo, what the fuck going on?
right.
Some dude just walked and he was just staring me up and down, walking around me. I said, you all right, brother? Can I help you? And he started popping shit. I said, nigga, I will fuck you up out here. That scared him,
Right.
shook him up.
Right.
Because when you say brother, when you try to talk like you got some
Trying to
sense,
kick knowledge. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, nigga, you trying to kick knowledge?
Nobody want to
Give
hear
me
that shit,
your name, your
Sharif. Yeah.
datings.
Yeah.
I
Nobody want to
take
hear
a
that.
couple work. But that's how dudes treat you, like Kane treated Homeboy in the
Right.
car. If you remember that scene in Minister Society, he said, come on, man, we supposed to be brothers. What Kane said, nigga, you trying to kick knowledge?
Word. Give me the motherfucking Dayton's and order me a double burger with cheese.
So I get it, but we not there yet. As a community, as a group, we not there. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think we ever will. That word
right.
not going nowhere. Like motherfucker used to be a bad word.
Word.
And when you know the history of motherfuckers is reported to date back to our enslavement, where dudes had you literally, do what they do. When one particular group back in their homeland, they openly did that with their mother, but then they forced the oppressed enslaved people to do the same thing. So we didn't really like that word. But now, everybody use the word. You know what I'm
Also,
saying?
yeah, and you know it's funny. I wanted to just and as you say that, I mean, I often tell people that me, you, and Paul could finish each other's sentences like the same exact thought at the same time. Yo, I was just about to say that. When you said everybody use that word, we find now that as black men, we use that, but it became other people's word now where they call each other that. So it's starting not to be just a black
Like,
man's word.
right,
It's starting to become because we got Dominicans, Puerto Ricans,
white, white folks,
continental Africans, that white
Arabs.
folks, Arabs, you know what I'm saying, who
Everybody.
who they've never been oppressed behind the word. So it just became a word now, and
I don't encourage people to use it
yeah,
though.
don't use it in front of me because you're gonna get plucked out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keep it real with you. If you somebody, and also the audience and many people don't know why Puerto Ricans use it, and as New Yorkers we don't be as offended because it's not racial with them. Like many of them grew up right with they like. It's hard to explain, so let me try to explain it to y'all really quick. Where we from, Puerto Ricans and black people grow up together in the same environment. It is some segregation. I ain't gonna front. It is some segregation. But for the most part, That was the elders with them. The youth is all one and the same, to where the dating started and all of that, and we started mingling and started being together. Don't be fooled by internet stuff, because right in the hood, Puerto Ricans and blacks will hang together. Yeah, they might got they side, or they got their area, but we all intermingle now. So they'll be calling each other nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a black thing the way they use it. It's a word for them. And for the bozo in the chat that say, how can you say Africans did get oppressed behind the N-word? I said that they didn't, but that's the problem with many of you. You don't listen, and you always looking for a point to interject with your argument. Because I'm going to be real with you. I never saw you on my chat before. I never seen you take place. I never seen you comment. But y'all sitting there and y'all wait for something that you could disagree with, and then you pounce. I never said that. I said, although they never been oppressed by the N-word. That's what I said. But again, and you won't even apologize. You'll be wrong and strong. And that's a trait of an old YN too, because y'all don't take accountability. Niggas be dead ass wrong. And when you wrong and you know you wrong, that's when you dead ass wrong. A lot of y'all be wrong and strong, don't know what you talking about, but you just want to talk to hear yourself talk. That's why I talk to probably like 3 people a day, because I have to have people that's going to feed me information as well as take my information. I'm not here to argue with nobody. I'm not here to have frivolous discussions, and that's what we talk about. It's too much party and bullshit with us. It's too much of us getting together just to shoot the shit. But when you got goals, aspirations, accountability, responsibility, all these abilities, right? When you got those and you got the ability, that is first and foremost. But a lot of y'all shirk all of that because you are trying to find a way to just be entertained based off of your pain. And what many of y'all don't do, what I've done, what Tad has done, because we needed it. We didn't even do it together. Niggas went to counseling. The niggas went to therapy. Niggas got therapists. Because some of the things that we seen at a young age, some of the things that we've been through at a young age is not normal, that no children should go through. And we didn't go through the typical things. I can't say I knocked on somebody's door and they was pluking me every week. You understand what I'm saying? I can't say none of those things. But some of the things that we partook in, the dysfunction and the sociopathic mind state and behavior, just trying to survive and navigate through shit, we needed counseling. And what a lot of people don't do, they don't get counseling. They think they could drink it away. They think they could smoke it away. And the worst thing that y'all dudes have become is deviants, and y'all think y'all could fuck it away. And you can't. Because what you're doing is now you creating broken homes of people just like you. Most of y'all don't take care of y'all children. Most of y'all have tumultuous relationships with your wives, your baby mothers, your significant others, and many of y'all niggas want boyfriends. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why you always hanging around men. And some of you wasn't raised by men, so you trying to get masculine energy. You trying to find somebody to dominate. You trying to find somebody to say, yo, go to the store. Yeah, I run these niggas. I told these niggas this. We ain't with all that. In our organization that we always had, there was never no leader where it as somebody could tell everybody what to do. Nah, who going to the store? Ain't nobody going to the store. And a lot of y'all are not apologetic for your ways and actions and deeds, and you just keep going down the rabbit hole of being a fuck nigga. You know what I'm saying? An old fuck nigga. It's nothing worse than an old fool. You could be a fool, but you're supposed to know better. And if you didn't digest certain things at a certain point in your life, what you think you're going to get now? You understand what I'm saying? We had a motto that if we didn't have women, we going to school.
Going to school.
And I'm going to tell you what we used to say, no pussy, no hooky. So that was youthful stuff. That's when we was little. If we had girls, we ain't going to school. We having a hooky party. We ain't have no girls, we going to school.
But you know what's crazy too, dog? I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know this. You share with the audience though. that contributed to our trauma.
Exactly.
I'm saying,
Exactly.
like when dudes are at a certain age and they still brag about how many women they get, like word, you still on that? That was junior high school and high school. What are
This
you
is what
talking?
I'm saying.
And dudes are still like, yo, I got mad chicks. I got like, wow.
Right.
So that's your value system. That's what you place value on. Heard you.
Somebody said you got to enjoy yourself, bro. Have fun. I do have fun. I have fun. I just
Yo,
spoke to my
life
niece.
is fun.
I just spoke to my niece today. She was calling Zori right after she spoke to me. They speak every day. Sometimes they call me today. I mean, they call me at the same time. I ain't talking to two baby. I'm not talking to no 8-year-old and a 10-year-old at the same time because y'all both bugging me for Robux and I don't tell them no. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about, so that's fun to me. Fun to me is, and then you got to realize the life that some of us led, right? I was in the clubs at 15. I was already doing shows at 15. I already was drinking. I already did all the shit. I digested that. I got that out. So there's no way at the age that I am now as a grown-ass man still acting like that. Because the great Steele from Juice said, don't you get tired of this shit? You don't get tired? If you do the same thing every day and you have a repetitious thing that you do every day, and it doesn't further your growth, then you stun it. You understand what I'm saying? Fun to me, I'm having fun now. I'm talking to y'all. We building, we talk about some real shit. I worked out earlier today. I made me some quesadillas. I got a good candle burning. I set up my lights. Fun for you might not be fun for me. I didn't drink in 23 years. I never smoked in my life. So again, what's fun for you might not be fun for me. Fun to me is growing. Saturday, we going to see my grandmother, you know what I'm saying? Whose grandma's what, 88?
Yep.
But she always told us she was 99, so we never knew her age, you know what I'm saying? So we going to see my
89 this
grandmother.
year. She'll be 89 in November.
Yeah, we going to see my grandmother. So that is fun to me. Going to see the matriarch, the elder, the top tier of the family. That's fun. You understand what I'm saying? We going on a road trip. You understand what I'm saying? And again, I'm not even knocking you for saying that, because I think a lot of times y'all don't understand what fun is. Y'all think fun is drinking, smoking, fucking, and oppressing other people. That's not what fun is. Wise Brim 5'9", what's up? I'm from Fort Greene Projects, the first side. I lost 30 friends, 2 brothers. I changed my life. See, again, I respect you because
Rest in peace to Fly Tie.
rest in peace to Fly Tie. That was the bro. You know what I'm saying? And
Bro right
so
there.
Fort Greene is right down the block. We on Fulton.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Fort Greene used to be the ops and all that.
Yeah, we couldn't even go to Fort Greene growing up. You understand what I'm saying? Now that
I
we,
did, because
yeah,
remember I was different.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So
That's what I'm
again,
saying. Certain things, you know what I'm saying, you grow up. You know what I'm saying?
even listen, we had shooting beef, fighting beef with Fort Greene dudes. We grew out of that shit to where they harmed us, we harmed them, we harmed them. You know, but it's like we grew up together in stupidity. So now as grown men
We
with
laugh at it.
children, we laugh and say, yo, that
like,
time
yo,
y'all
what was
jumped out
wrong
the
with us?
trees.
It
Yo,
wasn't about money. It wasn't about chicks. It was about little dudes and their ego. And I
right.
think that's what goes on as we was talking about rap dudes, you know what I'm saying? That's what we see right now. All this beef, and you think we was kids with hammers. You know what I'm saying? When I say hammers, the G word, you know what I'm saying? With guard you nows. We was kid with guard you nows, you know what I'm saying? And just out here for what? It's almost like that Nas song, I gave you power. We felt powerful. So who can we oppress? Again, that's like the people fucking up traffic, not knowing what real power is. And then we always say, thank God we didn't kill each other.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like,
But we tried
hold
to,
each
yo,
other.
we tried
Yeah, we
to,
tried. Like, I got
yo,
clipped, they
yeah.
got clipped. Like, it went back and forth.
But what I'm saying is that we tried to hurt each other.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
we
yeah.
was friends first.
Yeah.
And it was ego. It's the thing that grown men are doing now. We did
Right.
that then. So that's the point I'm making. Is
OYNs.
what so again, you said Jody Daw? You said rest in peace to Daw? Symbol said that. Daw passed away?
I don't know. I don't know if he did.
Yeah, we gotta research that.
Word.
But you know,
Word. Oh,
again,
that was my dude too.
yeah, again, because the worst person, in my opinion, is a person who know better. And let's not get it confused. Because somebody's of a certain age, that don't mean they know any better. Because you got a lot of old little niggas who never was receptive to knowing better. You understand what I'm saying? So they are old. They are out there with the little dudes. They are out there drinking and smoking and doing all the stupidity. They the worst kind to me. You know, but then we can have the flip side of the dudes who do know better. And they come before y'all like they know better, and you believe in them and you rock with them only for them to be deceptive. You understand what I'm saying? Or dudes who could tell you about ancient Kemet front and back, that could read the lessons front and back, that read Message to the Black Man, who read Sheikh Anta Diop, who read Ivan Vance, who know that. But then they start using the knowledge for manipulation because it's certain things that they didn't get. You get what I'm saying? So
That's why I always, what you saying is right and exact, because I always put that on Umar. I don't give a damn what nobody say.
right.
I'll put that on him.
But look how
because
many Umars we got though that didn't
right.
make it to that peak. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of them are on
Tucker
YouTube.
Polite did the same shit.
Right.
Tucker Polite did the same shit. They use the knowledge, they weaponize it. No different than the people they talk about. See, when you know better, it's gonna show up in your actions, and not just your actions, but how your family receive you. You know what I'm saying? Like when we had the youth group, the 1 year anniversary, my mother and father and children were there. Anytime I did a presentation, my children came. You know what I'm saying? Like the family came. Like the children's mothers came. Like, yo, he's doing something positive because I know who he is and I know who he could be.
Right.
You
Yo,
know? I see King Simon in the chat.
King
Shout out
Simon
to
in the
King
building.
Simon.
Yo,
You know?
one time, right? One time I was parking.
Follow King Simon.
Yeah, follow King Simon.
King Simon
Watch our
presents.
video. Yo, one time I was parking and this old dude, white dude, yo, he just looked out the window. He was like this. He double troubled me. And it was just mad funny to me. Cause I said to him, I said, yo, I will get out this car and fuck you up. I really will drag you out your car and beat your ass. But I think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? I said, yo, you made me laugh. I'm not even mad. You know what I'm saying? But see, that took a lot to not be a little dude, not to react in the way the youthful me would react. You understand what I'm saying? Because you know why? Because I want to go home, right?
That's it.
I built my space beautifully. I got everything that I want, and I don't go outside to lose that. And I always say this to y'all, right? If you have the most beautiful woman or women's, as some dudes like to proclaim, right? If you got this foreign car, if you got this beautiful house, beautiful family, that some dudes be taking pictures on photo ops when they had their kids because they never had their kids, but they would like to portray like they always got their kids, right? Why are you leaving all of that? You leaving this beautiful woman in the house to go outside to stand in front of the store with red cups with niggas blasting music? One of these niggas is selling crack. Most of these niggas got ops. So you could just get jammed up just being there. So you leaving what you built, you leaving your so-called paradise because the minute you get mad, right? This is what you brag about. What, nigga? I got a foreign. I live in the gated community. My bitch bad. My mommy, because dudes always got they think bad women or Spanish women for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? My Spanish mommy is, she related to El Chapo and all this foreign shit. And niggas will leave all of that, right? To go around a bunch of niggas who ain't doing shit. It don't really make no sense to me. So either you lying or you stupid or a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? I don't go and hang in the hood no more. You know why? Because I digested that. It's daytime to do that. Now, rest in peace the Block, right? Rest in peace the Block. Do you remember they was telling you how Block was crazy, Block was this, that, and the third? We used to take the little dudes in the hood back when we was doing DTF radio every Wednesday. We used to take them with us to the radio station because we felt like for 2 hours, y'all gonna be alive for 2 hours. I can't promise you the other 22, but I know for 2 hours, y'all was with us. And as we was driving them home, they was telling us how wild he was, this, that, and the third. Tell the audience what you told them.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that now. You know, I told them I was just pulling together my emotions because it was so relative. Because I was like, yo, that shit not cool. Yo, everybody not gonna make it. Y'all gonna take a loss. Boom, boom. Used to just acknowledge something like how we just having this conversation with y'all. We used to tell them what the future looks like if you don't change the trajectory. And Block was somebody that was definitely well loved. I never even seen my son cry like that.
Right,
Not a baby, like think when Block got clipped, they was like 17, 18 years old,
right, right.
even 20. Right, right. They was like 19, 20. Cause it was after the graduation. It was
Yeah,
definitely
definitely
after
after the graduation. Yep, yep.
because Block used to be like, yo, Big Tad, I'm going back to school, man. I'm gonna do this. I was like, yo, I support you. Whatever you need, I got you. Try to give them an encouraging word. But we told the young ones that was in the car, it was 40 and somebody else too.
It might have been it might have been Day Day. It was Day
Right.
Day.
That's
It was
what I
Day
was
Day. It was
thinking
Day Day.
too. It
Yep,
might
it
have
was
been
Day Day.
Rico.
Yep, Rico.
But
Yep.
just telling them, y'all be careful out here because you're gonna lose friends. And all these dudes was childhood friends. We watched them as babies, just like me and Doggie grew up with our friends who we lost. And the streets don't care. And that's what it is with the old YNs. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been through this. Like everybody who really been outside, like they say they did, they lost friends as children.
Right,
They lost, like when we were kids, we lost friends. So, and then you see the cycle, because if you our age, and that's what I was telling the young ones in the car, we seen the story before. You're not doing nothing new. You're not the first one on the block. You're not the first one with a hammer. Things don't always go your way just because you got a hammer. Please be careful out here. Like figure life out now. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sad because he did lose his life. I remember everybody was on social media, everybody's on Facebook. Instagram wasn't even popping yet. Everybody's on Facebook like, yo, say it ain't so, say it ain't so. Who in the hood? Who in the hood? And I'm like, yo, something must have happened in the hood. I'm at work,
right,
Facebook scrolling in the office, just chilling. Um, I go see grandma, and grandma said, "You see that little boy got killed?" I'm like, who? And she told me it was Block. Like, wow, showed me the newspaper article and everything. It was all on the news, and you know, and it's just sad because this is one of many stories. Because he's not the only story. We lost Juicy, we lost Half, we lost Yaya, we lost so many people
Tank.
to violence,
Right,
Tank, things
right,
that are preventable. We're not talking about people passing away of heart attacks and car accidents and born with autoimmune diseases. We talking about people who are literally taken out of here.
right.
People who were
As
eliminated,
as
deleted.
children, as children.
Right, because if it wasn't for somebody else's mindset, and this is the mindset that hurts the community. So when we see older dudes, I'm always amazed on how dudes are not appreciative that they made it this far.
Right, right. Yo, like
You should be celebrating like, you ain't fuck all that shit. I ain't proving to nobody how tough I am no more because I survived some shit. Let me
especially
just get out the way.
and you said that you hit on that the last time we was together when one of the dudes came in there and said, "Yo, we cursed,"
Yeah,
and we always say, "Yo, we ain't cursed, we
I'm
blessed,
blessed. Man,
we blessed,"
I'm
because the
blessed.
shit that we survived, many people are taking themselves out
Violence
for.
against us,
Right,
the jail sentences.
the
That's
aggression.
my lights out.
The first of all, the aggression that was against us, because even a lot of shit that we went through, we never started. And truth be told, me and Tad got into the most shit in life. And my family, my other cousin is in here, SMD show. That's our other first cousin. We got into the most shit in life defending other people. It was never even ours problem.
Right.
We was just
Just
going out for the crew, going out for the team. And you know what's funny? I don't even talk to none of them niggas no more. So I done
How
been
about that?
stabbed. I done been shot
Yo,
at. I done been everything for niggas I don't even talk to no more.
no good deed goes unpunished.
Right?
We put our, and that's the thing. We literally put our lives on the line for dudes who don't even like, and it's okay because it's the progression. Because we probably would still rock if we were still in that mindset.
Right,
But
right,
as our
right.
mindset elevated, our priorities change. You know what I mean? And that's what it is with people who supposed to know better. When you know better, you're supposed to do better. But a lot of people are literally lazy, and it's mad variables for that on why people is lazy. It's lack of information, it's poor diet, it's lack of sleep, it's too much alcohol, too much drugs. Like that thing messes
Too
up the
much
chemical
deviance.
genetic makeup. Yeah, yeah. So what it is with dudes who supposed to know better, when you got knowledge, you're now universally challenged to do something about it. Because see, if you don't know something, you don't know. You can't act on what you don't know. But once you get the knowledge, now you're charged with the responsibility of acting on it. So a lot of dudes will act like they don't know in their behavior, but then they want to spit that shit around people who don't know their behavior. So they look like they got their shit together. It's all an illusion. Me, I'm constantly trying to get my shit together. That's why people don't see me. May think I'm somewhere exotic, and I might be in and out the country. You never know. But for the most part,
Passport gang, for real, for real. Passport
yeah,
gang, like,
yeah, and not a
cause
passport pro. Let's
listen,
be clear.
I'm gonna be, because I want to tell the audience, yo, we not supposed to have passports. We not
Yeah,
supposed to have foreigns. We not supposed to have our own cribs. We ain't supposed to have none of that. Because if we
not
had
supposed to
arrested,
read.
yeah, if we had arrested on, or we had arrested on where our path was going, I would have a sob story. I'd be like these other grown dumbass niggas on YouTube. Because there's a lot of grown dummies. And what I want y'all to not fall for too, many people are great orators, meaning that people speak well. And many people know how to make you think they care about you. Many people know how to make you believe that they care about you. So what they're saying right now is for the good and the betterment of us. So they keep having this old ass ideologies that don't work. So when you see niggas talking about we gotta pull out of them institutions and all that stupid shit, niggas be saying it's dumb shit. Because at the end of the day, dudes want to have conversations like we got rotary phones. We got phones that talk right now. So when is dudes gonna live and come into what's going on today, take the information that we have right now and be able to apply it, right? Because again, like Taz said, the way Dr. Clark lived, we don't live like that no more. We still in the past. And Dr. Clark, Malcolm, any of our great esteemed elders and ancestors now was preparing for now. Niggas keep saying, if Malcolm was here, he'd be 100 years old. So what are y'all talking about? Let's go back to Garvey. I want to take it back to, we the only people who are afraid of growth, age, and the future. That's why a lot of dudes act like little niggas, because they stuck. They afraid to say, yo, I'm tired of being out here. Yo, it stink. Ain't you tired of going to neighborhoods where you got to piss in the corner that everybody else pisses in? So the corner just smell like piss. You pissing in bottles. If you got to drop a deuce, you ain't even got nobody crib to go to because the whole neighborhood that you grew up in don't even live there no more. And all you doing in the hood is looking for the young girls that you've been eyeing since they was babies. Really
Yeah,
think
she
about that.
ready
She
now.
getting ready now. She big.
Ready.
That's why a lot of these dudes is deviants. I'm telling you, a lot of dudes, and for those who know, you're gonna have dudes who sit before you and act like they for the people, but they not for the people. They're for themselves. And it's for like self-gratification. And a lot of times the self-gratification comes from oppressing others, come from dominating men and doing foul shit to women, but then acting like I'm a man of the people. So what I be asking, what has this said person done on their own? Because it's easy to join something, right?
Right.
It's easy to join anything and just say, yo, I was marching with Al Sharpton in them, but I was like 2 miles behind them and shit, right? What about the dudes? What about the dudes who ain't really doing shit but on YouTube talking? Because I came across the clip. I don't know why it came across my timeline, but it triggered the shit out of me because who it was. And I'm like, yo, niggas still talking this shit? Niggas, like, y'all really, really still talking this? Like, yo, the babies, when I say babies, I'm not saying that the guard body jogging. I'm saying the little children, 3-year-old, 2-year-olds, could pick up this phone and operate it better than all of us right now. So that's letting you know time is moving. How you still got this outdated information? How you on YouTube and you ain't get your camera work together because you didn't even take the time to learn good audio, take the time to learn good visuals. But you on here telling people what they should be doing with some shabby looking shit. You don't even take the time to even improve what you say you're doing.
Right.
But you like send the cash apps, hit the green screen, send me this, send me that. But you don't even take the money and invest it in yourself. But you telling people to give you money for what? Always a promise for them. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how y'all get duped a lot of times because people always telling you that if you give me this, I could do this for you. That shit be cap.
I was about to say that too.
Go
You
ahead.
can always tell who for you when they ask, is there anything they could do to help you? Even if it's just an encouraging word. When people are, to your point, when people are asking you for stuff, they not for you, they for themselves, and they act like they doing you a favor. Back to the good orators. Remember, crackheads are good orators.
The best.
Crackheads say you some bullshit. Remember, the crackhead came to the hood selling everybody burner phones.
Nextel phones at the time,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah.
chirp. Yeah, it was the chirp. Yep.
So everybody chirps. You
I ain't
got
buy one.
me neither. I ain't
Ain't
buying one.
get me. Yo, listen, I'm a Brooklyn dude. Yo, you
And
can't.
it sounded crazy to me when he was like, "When I'm gonna get this crack? I don't know this crackhead. Give him a buck." Like, nah, he gonna turn it on. He gonna do.
I don't
He got
trust
the hookup.
crackheads.
I don't trust in no crackhead.
Word. I don't trust crackheads
But
and I don't listen to
you know,
niggas.
it goes back to the value system. I seen somebody put in the chat they don't have a village. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at this platform as your village. You know what I'm saying? Where
Right.
we
Because
give you real knowledge. We ain't asking you for nothing. We not asking. You know what I'm saying? If anything, we trying to empower you, giving you a different paradigm of thinking, a different way to look at things. Because a lot of times people keep trying the same shit and it ain't working. Now, Albert Einstein said insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
but what
And
about the
that's what's
paradigm
happening
shift,
sometimes.
Tad?
Yeah.
What about the paradigm shift?
Yeah, see, dudes don't even use that in the proper context because I'm a proponent for a paradigm shift. A paradigm is just your reality, what you to believe is real. Like when we was in the streets, when we was in the hood, when we was wilding out, that was our reality, and we thought that's just the way it was because that was our life at the time. But again, when you get new information, you're charged with a new responsibility to act on this information. So once we learned better, we had to pivot and do better. We couldn't get all this information. We couldn't start reading all of these books about great black heroes and great historians and all this dope stuff that black people did, but then we still outside behaving like we ain't got none of this information. See, we was behaving in that mode because we didn't have this information. We had an idea. We heard black people did great things, but we didn't know who was who and what was what. You know what I mean? But once you start getting introduced to new information, a new paradigm, a new reality, you have to act in it. And that's why I say we not cursed, we're blessed. You know what I'm saying? I could have been in the can, could have been dead, but I'm not.
Right.
And I'm grateful to the creator for that because the creator saw fit to spare me. Now, my story could have been over years ago, multiple times. You know what I mean? But since I was blessed, I'm acting on that blessing. And I'm
Right.
trying
Are
to
you not
empower
blocking
and
your
encourage
blessing?
other people. Right. I'm trying to empower and encourage other people. Yo, it's life on the other side of this bullshit. It's
Right,
life on the
right,
other side.
right.
People who knew me in the hood remember me for being fat, remember me for being a wild dude in the hood, all that. But then, thanks to social media, people saw that I lost weight. People saw that I was going back and forth to Africa, doing dope stuff with the children. They like, damn, man. yo, you doing your thing, because I grew up. I couldn't be 30 something, 40 years old, still acting like I'm 15 and 16. Yeah, y'all see me. I'm in the motherland.
We
I'm
out
doing
here. We out here on the
this.
camera.
We out here.
We out here. We out here. Okay. Yo, you know what's funny too? It just dawned on me too. So one time my little cousin was doing a project for Black History Month, and he was doing it about people who did dope stuff in Black history. And I was his project. I forgot Jimmy did that. I forgot Jimmy did a project on me. Jimmy called me one day, rest in peace, my Aunt Peaches. She called and was like, Jimmy, want to talk to you. And I'm like, Jimmy, because I used to always tease Jimmy. He's like, yo, I'm doing a project. Jimmy the jerk, you know what I'm saying? Like, he called me one day and he was like, you know, I want to ask you a few questions for my project. And he was like asking me, you know, how did you start in YouTube and all that? And I was like, wow, like my little cousin is going to school and one of his Black heroes is his older cousin. You know what I'm saying? Because I was able to tell him my story because he's too little. He didn't understand. So I was able to tell him my story and how I came up and all of this and how I did things. And he was able to go, so as some people might have picked Martin Luther King and people might have did other things and other great people too. He was able to say, this is my living cousin. You know what I'm saying? This is my family. This is my direct lineage. He did this, and you could pull up in it. And I just dawned on me. But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't change the way I was thinking and the way I was carrying myself. Because I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I used to get fucked up. I don't even think YouTube could handle me if I was still drinking. I'd have been blocked. I would have been, my accounts would have got closed. They wouldn't have been able to handle me if I was still drinking. Because you think I don't care now. I really didn't care then. Even worse, you know, but it was something in me that was like, I think it was my older brother one time. My older brother had got sickly, you know what I'm saying? And I was telling him, yo, you still drinking and all that. But the problem was I was drunk when I was telling him that. I was drunk. I'm like, yo, you can't be drinking. He's like, you fucked up right now. And I'm like, so, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, that is kind of some bozo shit. So I remember one day I was saying like, yo, I'm tired of this shit. Like, I'm tired of this. Getting up every day, getting bent. What's today's date? Let's celebrate. I felt like I was stuck. I felt like I was stuck in quicksand. Like I'm sinking and I'm drinking. And one day I was like, yo, I quit. I ain't drinking no more. And I've always taken bouts of not drinking. So people would be like, man, here he go. He quit for a little while. All the homies still come through. They still doing their thing. But I was like, nah, that's it. I quit. You know what I'm saying? And I remember telling everybody, y'all don't drink no more. And niggas like, all right, we going to get some yak. I'm like, yo, I really don't drink no more. And that was 2002. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't had a wine cooler, a glass of wine, a liquor, beer, nothing since then because I know where I was at that time, right? And when you have that long talk with self, it don't matter what nobody say to you because that voice that you hear, that conscious, you know what I'm saying? When you really think about it, that's like the fifth dimension because right now everybody could say elephant, say it to yourself. You heard that, right? But your mouth ain't moved. It was in your voice and you heard something that you didn't hear. So a lot of times I use myself to talk to myself silently and sometimes out loud. And one of the main things that I say to myself sometimes is, yo, you fucking up. I promise you, I'll be like, yo, you fucking up. Yo, you this, that, and the third. So it don't even reach y'all some things. It ain't going to get past me because I'm very self-aware. So that's why when I have people who, it's not that I think that I'm better than anybody, but when I have people around me in my circumference, immediate or far, to say, what you should do now is, I'm like, nah, you don't know where I came from to even do what I'm doing right now. Respectfully, I understand what you're saying, but you're not a risk taker. I am. I'm a risk taker. Like, I jump off a building, don't even know if I got a parachute or anything because I got faith in myself. And I could see through a lot of people's ways and actions, they really don't have faith in themselves and they really don't believe in themselves. That's why they self-medicate. That's why they do like Solange, the Crane songs. I try to smoke it away. I try to drink it away. I try to fuck it away. You understand what I'm saying? I know grown men right now who still want to tell me about their sexcapades. Like that's a conversation. How's that a conversation? What we say in the hood is, yo, well, I don't want to hear about your dick action, but you got dudes who still want to have that. So when that is the basis of our conversation, then we know it's time to stop talking because that's not what I'm about. You understand what I'm saying? And how many people do call you for opportunity or call you to say, yo, I like what you're doing, this, that, and the third. It's like people always calling you to try to tell you something, to try to improve you when they not even improving. Improve your fucking children. Why don't you get rid of that doodle tooth in your mouth? Why don't you brush your teeth? Why don't you do certain shit that you need to do? Because how you looking at me like I'm make a nigga, like I'm Mr. Potato Head or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem with the hood too, because the hood loves to say, all you gotta do now is, and that's not all you gotta do. It's way more complex than that, because if we had the mentality that all you gotta do is this, that, and the third, and if it was that simple, everybody would be doing it. It is a chosen few. It is a select few. But what I try to tell a lot of people is where we come from to be where we at today. And me and Taz speak every day and say, yo, it's another level to this shit. Like, yo, it's more levels. And that's what we look forward to. That's the purpose, to get to these levels. You know what I'm saying? I have people who, you know, I know people who curse money, who try to say money ain't shit, money ain't everything, money
Stay
ain't
away
this.
from those people.
Yeah, stay away from them type people, because
Stay
if
away
you
from anybody who's cursing money. They have the spirit of poverty on them.
Right.
Please stay away from them.
or talk about what they had, but you don't win today's game or for yesterday's point. Who give a fuck what you had? And see, that's still that pastime paradise. I want y'all to know, Tad told me that Gangsta's Paradise is really Stevie Wonder's song, Pastime Paradise. You know what I'm saying? Spending all our life living in a pastime paradise. Nobody give a fuck about what you did 10 years ago. You old now, nigga. That shit is over.
Word.
So just like how we look at the old heads and they be like, back in my time. Yeah, yo, listen, let me explain something to you. If you got people you got to take care of, money is
You need all the
everything.
money you could get.
Money is everything.
Yeah.
It improves your health.
See,
It improves your living conditions. And we not talk about money for materialism, because we did the materialism shit a long time ago. I still got the chain that I bought in 2002. I still got diamond watches. I still got all that shit from 2002. Never had to pawn nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So now, being where I'm at in life,
I feel weird wearing jewelry now.
yeah, I think my dresser wear my dresser wear my jewelry more than, because it's all put up. That's why they call it trunk jewelry, because you used to have to get a big trunk to put it in there. But the point that I'm making is that, yo, we got goals, aspirations. We trying to build legacies and fulfill legacies that take capital. You get what I'm saying? And the funniest thing is too, is you got people who don't want shit.
Nah.
And when they don't want shit, they don't want you to have it.
Hold up.
And think
they
about
just want what you got.
right. And what did I say on Drink Champs? When a nigga can't share your success, he don't want you to have it either. So a nigga try to tell you how he better than you or was better than you in some aspects and all that shit. But what are we talking about in 2025? You get what I'm saying? So niggas be old fools. You understand what I'm saying? Dudes be old fools talking stupid shit. And then for some reason, a lot of men got an infatuation with looking up to dumbass niggas too. You notice all the dumbass niggas on YouTube got a big following?
Yeah.
And they don't really give you nothing but oppressive talk. And I get them, because some of them still gotta grow. Some of them need growth. You understand what I'm saying? But some of the OGs need OGs.
Yeah.
Because
And
I still got OGs. Taz still got OGs.
Yeah, definitely. I always tell people I only got 4 OGs. It's OGs that I respect, but like in terms of my personal development, because I'm from the era where you got to respect the architects. And I think that's what we go back to, because as dudes act like dudes are at the age where they act like they the first ones to do something and they don't respect the dudes who really put them on or put them in position. Not saying you old in the world and you got to kiss ass, but at least acknowledge that and show a level of respect. I remember when I was in Straight Black Pride and there was a little discrepancy amongst leaderships and people was like, yo, why New York so quiet? Why New York so quiet? And people asked me, yo, brother Tab, what you got to say? I said, yo, I know both parties involved and I don't talk shit about people and I ate their food.
Right.
If I slept in your house and I ate your food, I ain't gonna talk shit about you.
Right.
I don't care what we went through. I'm not gonna publicly, because if somebody in my close circle, they say, yo, what happened with you and such and such? I'm gonna tell you if you're in my close immediate circle. But like publicly, I'm not gonna get out and try to disrespect people. I'm not cut like that. I'm not built like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't bite the hand that had once fed me, even if I'm feeding myself right now. Because you just send out bad energy, and I've been alive long enough to know that the energy you send out is what's coming back to you. So when you send good energy out, good things come back to you. You put bad energy out, bad things happen to you. So people be like, why this always happen to me? Why this always happen to me? But dog, they don't listen to their internal monologue,
Right.
the things they tell themselves about themselves and the rest of the world. So some people are so selfish, they don't even realize when they harming the people trying to help them. And when the people that was trying to help no longer want to help them, they think, you think they're on some bullshit. Nah, people are tired of expending energy and resources to help people.
Right. And yo, listen, man. Yo, a lot of y'all niggas need help, man.
Yeah,
See, because
help and healing.
right,
Healing and
because you
help.
got dudes with platforms where they talk about women. I don't particularly talk about women like that, because I'm not a woman. And I think women should talk to women. You understand what I'm saying? Although I might take a day of stuff to really speak on certain things or sometimes to speak about women, but I speak to the men because we supposed to be the leaders of the household and everything, but niggas be in the crib getting dressed with the kids, eating the kids cereal, eating raviolis with the kids and all that, and oodles and noodles with the kids. Nah, you gotta be a man. You understand what I'm saying? And if a man means that you gotta get money and all that, then that's what you gotta do. You understand what I'm saying? Because it been like that for a while. Grandpa might have had a whole family across town, but he made sure grandma was straight.
But it's something you just said, and it's what I was hitting on earlier. You said dudes be in the crib eating up the kids' cereal and ravioli.
Word.
The funny part is those foods don't have no nutritional value.
Right.
And as adults, like bad enough we shouldn't be giving it to our children, but as adults, it short circuits our thinking processes. Well, brother Tad, why you say that? Fats are healthy. Certain fats are healthy. And I don't get on the personal trainer shit, but you got your moderated, you got your monounsaturated fat, your unsaturated fat, your polyunsaturated fat. Fish oil is great, right? Because fats go to your heart. I mean, it helps your heart, and some of the oils go to your brain. When you eat hydrogenated oil, it goes to your brain and slows down the electric currents in this gray matter we call the brain. The electro impulses are our thoughts. That's why they say fish is brain food, because those omega-3 fatty acids, those omega-6 fatty acids are good for your brain. It conducts the electricity a lot better. So when you're an adult and you're eating poor foods, making poor food choices, your thoughts are not as sharp. Couple that with the alcohol and the weed, you just setting yourself up for failure. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if you got a healthy diet and then you removing the excess alcohol and weed, how quick your thoughts and your
And
thinking
these
would
and
be.
multiple
And you
women's
be able to
fluids on you
get them
too.
spirits off you. Yeah, get all them
The
women's
fluids. I
off
mean,
you.
yo, again, man, like
It's, it's
people,
it's layers to this
right?
that a
Because
lot of
people,
people are really not ready to deal with because they so indoctrinated in the habits they have. They don't want to replace the old habits with new habits. You know what I'm saying? Like go for a walk, exercise, breathe, get sunlight, drink more water. Like there's so many things that you can do to help yourself. Because back to the point about people needing help,
right?
help and healing. And this is how you heal yourself. Because a lot of people don't even take dumps every day, so they literally full of shit.
Literally.
They gotta purge themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's just so multi-layered. And I'm only saying that shit out of personal experience.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just helping people on how I changed my life, my perspective, my position. Like I've done dope things in my life, and there's more dope shit to come. Shit that I never thought I would do. Running marathons, going to Africa, going to Hawaii with my family. Like dope shit, dope shit. You know what I'm saying? Dope shit. Like waters is really turquoise in other places, but some people the furthest they went is Coney Island.
Right.
And knock on that, but just know that there's more. There's always more. People hated Jay-Z when Jay-Z got his money, you know what I'm saying? When Jay-Z started getting them M's and then got 100 M, everybody like, oh, he think he this, he think he that. Then he went to a Billy.
Right.
Notice he don't fraternize with certain people. He don't wear big jewelry no more. People like he changed. You supposed to change.
Growth
You supposed
requires change.
you supposed to change. And not saying he's a better man, but I'm just saying just examine what people do with their life. They don't stay stuck. Whether we agree with them or not is something different. But look at the choices he's making for his life. You can do the same thing. You can make choices for your life. There's this dope book I always read, right, dog? It's called Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Max Maltz. He was a plastic surgeon, but he wrote some book about just the choices we make and how to really improve our lives. Because he talked about the people thinking their life would be better by doing plastic surgery. And of course, if you don't change your mind, nothing about your life is going to change. And that's what we try to share with people. Change your mindset, change the way you think. That's why Dog talks about when he used to drink. Some of y'all may have seen when he was overweight before. It's just choices you make. You take old habits out and replace them with healthy habits, good habits. And when I say healthy, I'm not just talking about food, but I'm talking about the way you
The
wake up,
conversations you have with people, because
the
that's
attitude you have
that's
towards
food.
life.
That's brain food. Because a lot of times, I find myself being an empathetic person pouring into motherfuckers, and I ain't got nothing now. And they pour the negativity back into you. How I poured all of this greatness into you, and then when you got a time to talk, you talking dumb shit. What am I supposed to get from that? How does that help me? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not self-taught because I wanted to be. I'm self-taught because a lot of people that was around me was shiftless and lazy, and a douche a beer or box or whatever was the most important thing to them. When I'm like, yo, I don't have a mother. I don't have a father. I don't have all of these things. So all I really felt like I had in my life, although I had elders that took care of me and guided me on the way a lot of times, I felt like I had to be very, very self-reliant. Tad could tell you, when he used to come to my crib when I was 8 years old, I was already cooking, baking chicken, using the stove back when you used to have to go under the stove with the paper and light it. I was little cooking already. 8 years old, making rice, string beans, corn, and barbecue chicken. He like, yo, you could use a stove? I'm like, yeah. I'm cooking 3-course, 4-course meals at 8. You know what I'm saying? So I've always had the initiative and the mindset of, yo, I gotta get it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get it by hook or crook. And I depend on me. So a lot of times when people keep thinking they could tell me what to do or you got to do this and do that, fuck you. Because if it's so easy, why don't you do it? Because it's not that easy. And the reason why I said get help, because I did think very negative at one point. I was angry at a lot of shit. And what I was angry at, it wasn't nobody's fault. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't nobody's fault. It just was the way I was thinking. It was the shit I was eating. It was the people I was around. And I thought this was it for me. Until you speak to somebody and they say, yo, no, this, that, and the third. You say, damn, I never even really thought about that. I never really thought about that. And all I see is a lot of broken men with excuses of why they're like that. See, if you know the problem, then you know the solution, or you can find a solution, right? Most people who are considered to be crazy, and when I say crazy, I mean clinically crazy, they don't know they crazy.
Right.
They don't know that they outside talking to themselves. They don't know that they musty and they been stinking out there naked. They don't know that. They off their meds. You understand what I'm saying? They don't know that. So they got to get hospitalized and do that. So what I see dudes right now is out in the streets self-medicating, right? But yo, think about what AZ said. Life's the bitch and then you die. That's why we get high, because you never know when you're gonna go. That right there set off a mentality of, yo, yo, man, it's real out here and all that. So what the fuck you doing out there? You got a choice though. You got a choice. And it's always a safe haven somewhere. Yo, it's times we used to go to the library. Let's go to the library. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta find your safe space. No weirdo talk. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Dope that you saying that, because I'm reading some of the comments, and shout out to commentator B, talking about the the ills in Hawaii.
Right.
One of the things I'll say too is, again, it's your mindset. It's like New York. You can either be in the hood or you can not be in the hood. It's like Africa. You can either be in the slums of Accra or you could be in the nice parts. The thing is, where do you want to be? Where would you find yourself?
Where do you envision yourself being?
Most people don't really believe that poverty is a mindset.
Right.
And most of that is true. It is a mindset. Granted, there's challenges and obstacles to keep you impoverished, but that's life. That's what we call when life is lifing. Everybody love a rags to riches story. You think about when new houses get developed in low income communities, right? They'll build a nice house for low income. What's the first thing dudes do? Piss in the elevator.
Right. Yep.
Hustling out the crib. So is it the lack of money or the lack of appreciation for nice things? Because you'll see people get nice shit and fuck it up.
Right.
Dudes will get a Rolex and then throw diamonds on it and make it lose its value, instead of leaving it in its original state so that it can increase in value. We don't know value. We don't know what's important and what's not. That's why crime be so high. And I'm telling you, as a former criminal, I would put value on material things as opposed to the treatment of people. So you might get your head bust for the few dollars in your pocket. You know what I'm saying?
But think about this, right? You are the bag. Secure yourself. You the bag. You are the bag. Secure yourself.
Yeah.
Niggas always talking about, I'm getting bags. I'm getting bags. You the bag. Because as long as you alive, as long as you healthy, as long as you have some happiness, you could get whatever you want. But I watch a lot of hurt niggas who's reeling and hurt. And it's like they want to cause havoc behind certain things that happen to them. So the oppressed starts to become the oppressor. The person who's mad at this, they want everybody to feel their pain. So now they just start going around being the killjoy, right? And niggas think generational curses is, yo, I'm gonna be the first millionaire in my family. That's not a generational curse. Poverty is not a generational curse. Generational curses is the mindset, like Tad was saying. So if you are the first person to say, yo, I'm leaving the projects, your kids ain't in the project. So the next generation, so you broke a curse that 4 or 5 generations, apartment, the pissy tenements, they call them developments now. That place, somebody finally left. That broke generational curses. Because generational is more than one generation. It'd be like 3, 4 generations. You understand what I'm saying? So who would have thought we'd leave Waverly?
Right.
Grandma was there for 53 years.
Look, we didn't graduate, but look, all the kids graduated.
All the kids graduated. How many graduations you went to this year?
1, 2, 3, 3. And I didn't go to college because his and Tati's was on the same day. Because he got his bachelor's, Tati got a master's. Then we had Zuri and Kayla. Yeah, 4. Four just off the rip.
So he went to his third oldest daughter graduation, who got a master's in psychology, right?
Yeah.
And then he went to her daughter, which is his granddaughter's graduation. You understand what I'm saying? So that's 2 generations that come directly from him. His daughter and her daughter. So
and
his
my baby daughter.
Yeah. And Kayla, the youngest daughter. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what we talking about.
And
But
Khalid is the youngest boy.
and Khalid is the youngest boy. But if you notice, we never talk about what we can't do. We never talk about what's hindering us. I always say, yo,
Because
now
you're already defeated once
you're
you
already defeated. When you say I can't, you understand what I'm saying? And that's why it's important to keep the company that you keep. And also, this shit is important, man. Yo, stop letting niggas promise you shit. Because niggas don't deliver shit. No, for real. Like, yo, depend on you. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, do for self. That's what doing for self is. Because you think a nigga gonna give you before he give himself? You think Umar gonna deliver you a school? That's this type of shit I'm talking about. You know how many times I heard in my life, when I get this deal, we good. Yo, you did a lot for me. Yo, when I get this money, as soon as a dude get money, numbers change. And I never been the type that feel like anybody owe me anything.
But don't promise neither.
But don't promise me shit. And a lot of people are not men or women of their word. One thing about me, I try to keep my word when it comes to delivering for other people. Now, sometimes I might bullshit myself, but I don't bullshit other people. You understand what I'm saying? So now we at a point in time whereas, yo, everybody is sitting around waiting for somebody else. And that causes mental strife. Because there's a lot of niggas in the hood right now talk about, Hov don't even come to Marcy. Yo, Mano don't even come to the style. Cam don't even be in Harlem. Doing
For
what?
what?
For what?
For what?
I used to tell my brother, and y'all heard me say this millions of times. Yo, Mel, if you talk to 7 dumb niggas, what does that make you? What's that? Number 8. I don't talk to people who are stupid. And stupid is your ways and actions. Because some people are book smart. Some people have education on certain things. But I watch people's ways and actions and how they move. I promise you. And when I say, yo, for the nigga to be so smart, he do a lot of dumb shit. Whether it's penitentiary chances, whether it's gambling with his life, whether it's smashing chicks raw, whether it's smashing chicks you don't know, whether keeping company with people you don't know. So how are you intelligent? And those are things you did as a youth when you didn't know no better. But now that you know better, you're supposed to do better. You understand what I'm saying? So when you look at these guys and they multimillionaires and they got all these watches and they got this and they got that and they go to the hood with all this jewelry on, and then you heard somebody unalive them one day. Fuck you expect? Me and my cousin Simbo was just talking.
Steak and the Lions.
Yo, me and my cousin Simbo was talking about today, and I was saying to him, I said, yo, y'all heard me say this before. On the plane, the zebras got their crew, the bison got their crew, the elks got their crew, and the lions got their crew. Now, what happens when the lions get hungry? Because they all chilling together. They all got their crew. This is exactly how the hood is. They all got their crew. You got the niggas on this corner, the niggas on this corner, the niggas on this corner. When niggas say, yo, we need some food, we need some yak, or we need some reefer, let's go get them niggas over there. That's how a lot of hood shit start. And I'm going to be real with you. A lot of niggas need to stay away from each other. That's just the truth.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Nearly Fuller Jr.
Dr. Nearly Fuller Jr. said, yo,
Black
niggas
folks
need to stay away
from each other till we learn how to come together for something constructive.
Right.
And you think all the new rappers are always jammed up with something, some level of violence, and it's because of what our generation showed them.
Right.
And then not enough of them are really giving them the jewels and the wisdom because everybody's so selfish right now. And I don't knock everybody, but if you're gonna talk, man, offer the people something. Like you said earlier, you know what I'm saying? Give some advice on how to make it in the music industry. The music industry done changed though. Everything is streaming. Like
because they don't know though. But see, but this is what I'm saying, Tad. I want you to know that these old fools didn't even educate themselves, because when you hear, and respectfully, I don't want to talk bad about him or Snoop, When Scarface say, you know how much 1,000,000 streams is? It's $4,000. That's not right and exact because everybody get a different CPM. Everybody get different splits on theirs. Some people might get all of their money because there's no samples. You might have streamed a lot. You ain't got to split money. So everybody will sit there and say, damn, you only get $4,000 for 1,000,000 streams. He don't know what he talking about. And that's the problem with a lot of elders too. That's that talking, but not know what they talking about. So you'll have some people who will say, YouTube, yo, you got this amount of views. You only made this. You don't know what a CPM is. And remember, I was telling you about I was just telling you this today about AdSense. You was like, yo, I got my AdSense. I could do this and do that. I said, nah, no, you can't. You got to this, that, and the third. But what if I was sitting here saying, yeah, you got your AdSense. Yo, it's up now. This is what I'm saying. But at the ripe old age that I am, why I don't have the information if the information is there for me to obtain? But reason why I obtain the information, because I sustain from doing nigga shit. I sustain from the chicks, the liquor, the reefer, that shit, and I do my studies. So now when my cousin hit me and he coming into the culture, you're not coming in blind.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Or lacking value.
Or lacking value. Or because although you older than you're my older cousin, when it come to YouTube, I'm your older cousin. You understand what I'm saying? So you'll say, yo, how you do this and do that? Oh, nah, you got to do this, that, and the third like that. And it was just today that we had this conversation, ironically. You understand what I'm saying? So again, we could be spending our time doing that shit because I'm still welcome in my hood. You know what I'm saying? But for what? A lot of people in my hood, respectfully, don't want what I want anymore. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you, when people can't share your success or they can't get what you have, they don't want you to have it either. So that's what you think? That's what you think life is all about? I don't agree with you. So I'm going to go over here. And you could respectfully live your life the way you want to. I'm not telling you not to live your life. But I got a lot of children in my family that don't deserve to go through anything that I went through. And one thing about me and the kids, I don't tell the kids no. You know what I'm saying? I'm everybody uncle, I'm everybody big cousin, godfather, everything. Yo, if I got it, which I always have it, they got it. You understand what I'm saying? And that gives me purpose because, yo, they never been hungry before. They never had to go outside and duck bullets. They never had to go outside and shoot bullets. They never had to go to jail. They never had to find their friends deceased and dead, the new generation of kids. And that's because we do what we gotta do for the fucking family. So niggas who say money ain't everything, that's because you don't take care of nobody.
Right.
That's you don't take care of nobody. Money is everything when you got a fucking family and you got people who need you.
And I tell people that all the time.
And it's your
I'm
duty.
not taking a vow of poverty.
Word. So because we not poor righteous teachers. We don't subscribe to that either. I don't subscribe to being cursed. I don't subscribe to black means death. I don't think the first language was Arabic. I just don't agree with none of that. I'm a black American and that's just what it is. So what we saying is that it ain't about thinking we better than somebody or none of that. It's about changing your mind state and wanting more for yourself and your fucking family. You understand what I'm saying? But before I go, I want to commend all the men in my family. All the men in my family, because of my grandmother, who we going to see Saturday, all the men in my family have an affinity for taking care of children, even if the child ain't theirs. Even if it's their ex-girl's child, even if it's their ex-ex-ex-girl child, no kids get left behind when it come to us. All the kids is welcome. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. Everybody has kids that they take care of that's not biologically theirs.
We don't believe in that. And I always say, we was talking about this earlier, how fortunate we are the way we was raised with a village, because I realized a lot of people don't have a village now. People don't have communities. And what a lot of people do is join cults. And a lot of these things that people are passing on as religious groups and things like that are actually cults. Even some of these organizations, they're cults where they want everybody to think the same. They don't want free thought. They don't want nobody to introduce a new way of thinking to move the group forward. I always say, think for yourself, but work for the group. Because too many times people want you to think like them. we were fortunate enough to just be blessed with a moral compass and told to think. Just think. Education was it was important in the family. We just decided, yeah, man, fuck school.
Doggy, we back in the American Republic. We got to stop with calling ourselves black. Okay, Chris, I'm glad you said that. I want to give you the floor. If we don't call ourselves black, what should we call ourselves, Chris? Let you get the floor. Now, you got about 45 seconds because there's a little delay. So by the time I finish saying this, you should already be typing. What do you suggest? You're on the clock.
Well, you know, when we speak a bastardized language, people know what it means. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy because we back in the republic. Where did we back from? Where we back in the republic? All right, you had to leave to come back somewhere. So that's interesting. You know, that's an interesting statement.
But
You
see,
know,
this is the point that I'm making. These is people that think I should listen to them. We should call ourselves American Indians, which is an oxymoron. Truthfully, it's an oxymoron.
well, maybe Chris is an American Indian.
What happened?
Maybe Chris is an American Indian.
Yeah, so that's what he should call himself. I could call myself what
What
I
I
want.
always share, what I always tell people, and this is important, there were black people here before Europeans came. There were Indians here before Europeans came. Once the Europeans came, people accepted their paradigm of what this place is. America was what we call America was already multicultural before Europeans came here. So they'll say Native Americans, and people will automatically think Indians or this or that. You know, the Indians that we got sold through TV growing up in the 60s and 70s, white people painting their faces saying that they're Indians.
How?
That's what we accepted as
Remember?
Indians.
How?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How?
how,
Yeah.
how, Kimosabi. Like all that foolishness that's been indoctrinated in us. But once we study, we'll learn that there was already a presence of different groups of people here. There were people from Asia, there were people from Africa, there were people already here that intermingle because racism wasn't created yet. Racism was created by Johann Friedrich Blumenbach and Karl Linnaeus in the 1500s, the classification of the races. Well, not so much Karl Linnaeus. I forgot what he created. But the classification of the races came in the 1500s. These are things people don't really study and look at and really check out. And whiteness was created in, I think, the 1700s. There was no black and white. It was Caucasians and Negroids and Mongoloids and what's the other one though?
It's only three: Caucasoid, Mongoloid, and Negroid.
Yeah,
Because the
I think there's
Mongoloid,
another one. I think that
yeah, because the Mongoloid would be considered to be
Asians.
the Asians. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they added it on as time went on. Because that's not where my mind at right now.
Because you would have to read J.A. Rogers' Sex and Race.
Right,
Yeah,
and my mind ain't even going there. But the whole thing is that we have to stop accepting other people's terms. Like I said, Chris could be an Indian. Who knows? Not to say he's not. Remember, we should say Mars an Indian because we didn't know the language yet.
right.
We didn't know the language yet. We didn't know how to distinguish the people who were here before the European invasion, before Europeans started labeling people. And we accepted their definition of who's who and what's what.
In a bastardized language.
And it's right in a bastardized language because as time went on and we was able to do our own studies and research, you think most people back in the 60s and 50s, the 50s, 60s, and 70s, let's say that time period, where we was accepting African American. We romanticize Africa because many of us haven't been to Africa. But now that we can go back and forth with a drop of a dime, we could jump on our phones right now and book a flight to go anywhere in the world. So the lies that's been told to us, we could easily dismiss it now. Remember, we were seeing West African children with big bellies, nappy heads, and
Right.
flies on their face.
Ethiopians,
Oh,
we didn't
that's
even know.
Ethiopian.
Yeah, we didn't even know that they didn't even look like that. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing like that.
Yeah, we didn't even know that.
That's not even a
Eritreans,
phenotype of
Ethiopians,
Ethiopian.
Somalians, we didn't even know.
Yeah, we didn't know the
Remember war in
difference. Africa was
Somalia. Remember the
Africa.
war in Somalia in the 80s. War in
Yeah,
Rwanda. That's all East Africa. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
So there was so much misinformation, and I've been fortunate enough to go to Ethiopia, and I tell you, the food we get here is trash. The food in
Yeah.
Ethiopia, they food is banging.
Right.
And like you think you get good Ethiopian food here, but eat Ethiopian food in Ethiopia, you definitely see the difference. But again, that's because we're locked in other people's ideas of what we read that somebody wrote in a book, or we might have seen a
Somebody
documentary.
said Sally Struthers, Virgo Smith, right? You writing
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
Sally.
yeah.
So
For a
Chris
price of a cup
says,
of coffee, you could feed an Ethiopian. You could
Chris
feed
says,
an
I'm an American Indian via family genealogy, Mississippian culture of the Creek tribe. Now,
There
Chris,
you go.
that's
See,
dope,
that's what I'm
right?
saying.
But that's you, though. You keep
Yeah,
saying we, and that is one of the biggest problems that
right,
we have. We keep saying we. Yo, we not a monolith. We are
right,
not all the same people.
right.
We are
Like,
not all the same
like I
people.
said, it was multicultural
Yeah, it
before
was multi,
Europeans got
and
here.
and then we had tribalisms. Some people had beef. So you might be calling yourself, you might know what you are based off of your genealogy and your tests and your studies. So when me and Tad, we done did shows showing our lineage and all that, and where our family come from and all of that. So we might have had beef. So when we keep saying we, and we also have the right to call ourselves what we want and
Yeah,
identify as we
determination.
want.
Yeah,
You
because I'm a
understand what I'm saying?
Brooklynite, man.
Yeah,
I'm
because
born in Brooklyn. I didn't live my mother's life. My mother was she was one of the children that was bused to school here in New York. You know what I'm saying? She went to New Utrecht High School when it was at one point all
hell she
white because
doing
it's
all
in
the
a
way
white
there.
neighborhood.
Word. That's yeah.
It was, and here's the funny thing, as they tell this history, we don't talk to the people who lived there. My mother said they was never asked if they wanted to go to that school. There's something just like, you know what? We're gonna take you out of your neighborhood and send you to a school all the way over here. And
Right.
vice versa. They did that with white kids too. Took white kids and sent them to black schools. This was forced integration. Nobody asked the kids if they wanted
They
to go
did
to
it to
college. They
me.
just said,
They did
we're
it to
gonna
me as
bus
a
y'all.
kid. They did it to me as a kid. They said,
Yeah.
yo, your reading and math level is too high. The school that you in doesn't have the resources for you to develop. You got to go to the school, a different school. Believe it or not, that was my first taste of white people. That was my first, because coming from the town, yo, but hold on, Chris. You said, but black has nothing to do with race. No debate. Love building with you when you two brothers is on the panel. But guess what, though? We just made black a race. Is white a race? So if white is a race, why ain't
Right.
black a race?
Right. Like you said, it's a bastardized language, so we use it for a lack of a better term because as we try to get politically correct, some people get lost because of course the politics always changing. It's like right now, FBA is the new designation for us, foundational
But
Black
look, though,
American.
but he's still speaking from an old paradigm thought, though. He's still thinking of what we used to say. We not this, black ain't this, black ain't that. Neither is Jew.
Right.
But that's everything, a race, religion, slur, everything. You understand what I'm saying? A race, religion, slur, ethnicity. But people are allowed to call themselves what they want. But once we call ourselves, when we identify with something, you notice people like to say what we not. White is not a race, it's a status. You need to do more reading.
Well, they made it a race, Chris, and that's what I'm saying because it was Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, and he said
How long ago
because
was that? You said 1500s.
yeah, he said because all skeletons are white. This is his reasoning. He said because all skeletons are white, it stands to reason that the original color for humans is white. He said, yeah, and that's a race because he created classification of the races. Check that out. And he said the purest whites are from the Caucasus Mountains, which is why they call Caucasians. The Caucasus Mountains is actually in a place called Georgia in Russia. All this is factual. I'm not saying what he said is factual. I'm saying it's a fact that he said this and the rest of the world agreed upon it. So white is a race. I mean, you tell a white man he's not white.
Not only that, when
And
you,
at least in the United States of America.
but not only
'Cause,
that, right? When you filling out an application, what the hell it say? It don't say
yeah,
what's your status. It say what's your race.
what's your race? Yeah,
And I'm gonna
definitely
end it on
what's your
that.
status.
It don't say what's your status. But again,
Look, when I go to
respectfully,
Africa, they
word.
say, "Where you from?" My passport says American. It don't say African. It says American. It might say African American, but we know again, these are the games that they dupe on us, and this is why the whole point. Anytime I try to talk to people is think for yourself, create your own reality. If it works for you and it fits you based in reality, then rock with that. All that super duper space stuff that other dudes be on, that's them. And if that's your bag, rock with it. But for the most part, we try to give you good sound advice, good sound direction to help you move forward
Yeah,
because
because it's not
everybody gets
political
stuck
what
in.
we're talking about.
Say
We
it
talking
again?
about what we talking about ain't no political shit. We
Right.
talking about spiritual shit, right? And we talk about mental shit. All that shit, whether it's because people are incompetent when signing those applications. Listen, Chris, the applications be applicating. That's it.
Yeah, because I never seen status on
I never seen
application.
status on no application. So you made up something that don't
Yeah,
exist
'cause I
when
don't care
people
if you're
look.
applying for a
Yeah,
loan, you applying
welfare
for
or free
food
money.
stamps, whatever you applying
Yeah,
for, they do not
it never
ask for
said
shit
what's your
like that.
status. Your status is whether you're married or single.
Yeah, that's
That's your
my
only
fault, bro.
status.
Yeah, married or single.
You know what I'm saying? Or divorce or widowed or widower. That's the
Yeah,
status.
that's the only status they really ask for. Because I get what you're saying, but again, that's not where society is at with it. You know what I'm saying? And until you get with a bunch of like-minded people, again, create that village, then you could change the paradigm. You could change the voice. You could be like,
Yo,
nah,
the
I
last time I heard
represent
status though,
them.
Tad, Brother Polite was correcting nigga statuses.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga in jail couldn't even correct his.
Nah,
Status
he ain't in jail
correction.
because they don't got no jurisdiction over him.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So it's be a lot of rhetoric that be going on that you can't even use. Because I'm going to be real with you. Calling myself black, identifying as a black American man, I live good. My status don't mean nothing.
Look, let me tell you something, man. I'm proud to be black.
Right.
I want to be nothing else. And if we change it to something else, I'm going to be that too. But as long as I could be me, I'm happy being me.
And I'm from Brooklyn.
And it's
I don't know
born and
nothing
raised.
about Morocco. I don't know nothing about the Egyptian Peninsula. I don't know nothing about the Nile Valley. And I don't give a fuck. I don't know
You
nothing.
don't know about the Tekken
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and the pyramids and the Grand Canyon.
Listen, you know it's deep, right?
Metal on the walls in the Grand
Yo,
Canyon.
you know it's deep. Because even when niggas be like they from Israel ain't old. There was no place called Israel.
1942 or 1943, they established that.
The only
That
Israel,
ain't even the Israel they talk about in the Bible. And that's a whole nother conversation.
the Israel in the Bible was Jacob.
Word.
So
He
anyway,
wrestled with the angel
right.
to apologize to Esau for swindling him out of his inheritance.
You said you thought I was Puerto Rican. I never said I was Puerto Rican. I don't even know how you thought that. But see, again, when you dealing with black men and black women, we come in all shades. You understand what I'm saying? And everything comes from blackness. Everything comes from us. So we gonna look different. You got people in Melanesia, which I just heard somebody recently say, oh, stop using the Melanesian, but I ain't gonna go into that because niggas be eating his dick, but I ain't even gonna talk about that. But you got people all around the world with blonde hair, blue eyes that's darker than us. You know what I'm saying? We're not a monolith. That's the point that I'm saying. Like, you can't look, if you look at black Americans, we don't have the phenotype of a lot of people. We don't.
Of a Ghanaian, of a Nigerian.
Yeah, we don't have the phenotype. We don't look like them. You know what I'm saying? We don't look like Native Indians. We look like black Americans now.
I don't know what Native Indians look like no more because I know a lot of people, the information they gave us was just wrong.
This is what I'm saying. And we not going, but see again, getting off topic, getting on topic. Because you talking about, you said just building, but Doggy, this is the new economy. Your status will be the importance to do your research. That shit is cap.
That's what
See,
Belay said.
this
You
is what
said
I'm saying. You
that's what
talking about
Belay
what's gonna
said.
be your status is gonna be your new economy. You know how long y'all been popping that shit? On some real shit, and I want to be respectful. But my status has nothing to do with achieving my status. When I went for a loan for my whip, they didn't ask me what my status was. They asked me, what's your credit score? I didn't show no pay stubs. I didn't show none of that. I got a beautiful credit score. You know what he said? What you want? I want that. I drove off. So your information might work for you again. Again, it's rhetoric. And before I block you, because it's gonna happen, because I don't have tolerance for nothing. Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Dog, I'm great.
Yeah, it's over. You know what I'm saying? I'ma sign you out. I'ma kick it with them real quick. We holler later on. I'll call you
It
tomorrow.
was dope building with everybody. Y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true.
All right, later on. Yep. See, I had it all ready for be here by myself. I just want to say this to y'all before I go, because it's very, very important. Where we at right now, bye, Chris. Moderators, get him out of here. Get him the fuck out of here. It's time. You gotta go. Anyway, it's no fool like an old fool. When you are of a certain age, you're supposed to do age appropriate things. That don't mean that don't have fun. That don't mean not to party. That don't mean not to pop out. That don't mean to not enjoy yourself. But it's work that needs to be done. Because as you building yourself first and foremost, and you building your family, you building for your significant other, you building for your children, your family, immediate. Because what we gotta understand is that our family is our family, right? But once our family, when you get married, you start a new family. Your mother's still your mother, your father's still your father, but this is the family that you chose to start with and create a new family. And the thing about marriage, because once I get married, I ain't never getting divorced. People take oaths under God and then just break the oath. So if you watch a person break an oath under God, you can't believe shit they say. And we take oaths to one another, and then we do all we can to not grow and be little dudes and do nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? So of course we all could get in that ignorant bag when we want to and all that shit. Some things be funny sometimes. We bugging out. But we got a responsibility and we got a duty. So when I see dudes who's old fools and they got old gray slick backs and they talking that same dumb shit, how long you gonna take that? How long you gonna talk that same dumb shit? And there's no growth in that. What I'm trying to tell you is the shit that I say to you, I'm a living testament of what I say based off of what I do. So you have people who say one thing and do another. As for me, I do something and then I say certain things. And with all due respect, I said, I think I'm gonna start showing y'all a little bit more of my life, how I live, how life has been good to me. Because I think y'all be getting it fucked up. I think y'all be thinking other people got this and got this and got that. So that's why you're attracted to them. I think I got to start showing y'all a little bit more because, listen, some of us are living good, but are spiritually cleansed, mentally cleansed, and physically cleansed. What good is having all of this shit that somebody could show you if your heart is about to fall out? You can't even walk up a flight of fucking steps. Your jibs is falling out your mouth due to poor health. That's what I want to show y'all. Like, yo, nah, you could obtain certain things. You just got to change your mindset. You just got to change your surroundings. You got to just change the people you're around, because a lot of people are dark. They're very dark. They don't got nothing positive to say, ever. Everything is dark. Motherfucker can't even eat a plate of food without complaining. Everything is dark. And when you're surrounded in darkness, you come in with that light. Now it's a battle between the good and the evil, the light and the dark. And the dark tends to try to dominate. So sometimes you'll find people won't talk to you no more. Sometimes you'll find people will get away from you, move away from you. You know why? Because you disrupt their spirit. It ain't that you did nothing wrong. It ain't that you did nothing wrong. Don't ever think you did something wrong. Like, damn, this person ain't around. Listen, because your spirit, because you smile. Listen, you ever had somebody, you sitting in the room smiling and somebody come in the room and say, what you smiling at? I want to laugh too. That's a negative motherfucker, because they automatically think, yo, you talking about me. You thinking about me negative, because they think how they think. You could be in a room, what's so funny? I want to laugh too. Anyway, I could go on for days and days talking about this, but I'd rather be the living testimony of the things that I talk about, because I don't talk about nothing that I ain't ever experienced before. And being a living testimony of what it is that I'm telling you, and coming from so much shit, dealing with shit on a mental level. And always remember too, yo, you always under spiritual attacks. Somebody always coming in. And I'm not talking about spooky spiritual, like the door closed by itself type of spiritual. I'm talking about some shit just don't feel right. Some shit don't feel right. Like you leaving the crib, right? And you can't find your keys. That was the world telling you, yo, you need to be a little late. But we have spiritual signs that we'll just ignore. Trying to appease other people and trying to please other people, nah. Everything happens for a reason, and you just got to know how to read the signs. But when you around people who don't got nothing nice to say about nobody, when you around people who always seem to be unhappy, they don't laugh, they don't smile, they disgruntled, yo, get away from them. And I'm going to tell you one more thing before I go. Sometimes your biggest enemy is laying right next to you in the bed, and it ain't your pillow.